Countries all over the world have continued their tobacco control efforts. I take this opportunity to congratulate them and to thank them for their dedication.
Don't tase me, bro!
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room. It's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just, I don't know, is killing people right now.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
It's not about really quitting smoking. Their ideological viewpoint against vaping is so strong and so weird. Like, honestly, it's just weird. I don't know why it invokes this incredible sort of anger from these people. I mean, this colleague of mine said to me when I first moved to get the inquiry up, her comment to me was, why don't they just use a patch? And I said to her, do you smoke? And she's like, no. I said, have you ever smoked? And she said, no. And I said, well, shut up then. You don't know how hard it is to quit smoking.
Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.
Hello. How is everybody doing? I see that the cranky old broad is going to be cranky today. I like it when people get fired up. But anyway, howdy and welcome to Son of Liberty Radio. This is going to be a good show tonight. I have lots of ammunition tonight. And it's going to be awesome. We did get some confirmation from the WHO that their efforts are wasteful and lead to nothing. So we're going to hear that in a little while. We're going to see the video. We're going to show their admission that just telling kids to say no, this is something that they should have learned by now, because Nancy Reagan tried to get kids to just say no, and it didn't work. And if you tell a kid not to do something, the odds are they're going to do it. So we're going to get into that. But yeah, hi, there's people here. Troop and Pippa and JoJo's and Raj and Tom and Skip and Nick and Mallory and Leanna and Omicidal and me and Kevin. I got the hiccups for a second there. They're all here. There's people here, and there's other people that aren't saying anything that are watching too, because I see you. But anyway, hey, Kevin's here. Hey, Kevin.
What?
Are you jumping, or
what is this?
Are you springing to action, or is that like you got wood? I can't really decipher what that is.
I did, just for the record, just invite your friend to hear Turk to watch, because he might learn something.
Well, he might. Hey, Mike Peterson is here. He was one of those lurkers hiding.
He's lurking.
So we know that I announced to the world and invited some powerful people. I invited the WHO, the entire WHO, to view the show. And if anybody from the WHO is watching, if Dr. Tedros is watching, please hit me up on my Twitter DMs, and I will send you a link so that you can come in and converse with us. but I'm pretty sure they won't. But hey, Kevin,
What?
I'm trying to, sound effects are supposed to like enhance the mood.
Well, that was a scary thing you were asking. What?
No. I was asking. I'm offering them an opportunity to come and engage
They're
with
not
us.
fucking coming.
Hey, I still am giving them the opportunity.
I asked you to invite the other goofball with the big vape thing, the book. I thought that would be fun.
That's
I know.
But anyway, hey,
What?
if you haven't been following us or paying attention, Dimitri posted on his Facebook that he got his nicotine enhanced T-shirt today. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dimitri. But
Yeah.
I got mine on as well. You
Okay.
see that? Nicotine enhanced. I really can't see it. I'm gonna have to show everybody my fat belly.
Enhanced.
Look at that. Nicotine enhanced.
I like the font.
You like my design?
Yes.
Those are available on the Son of Liberty Radio Teespring store.
What?
All proceeds from the sale of these T-shirts will go to buying Kevin a new monitor so that he has 2 monitors, so that he can actually follow the action of the show while he's doing screen sharing.
Now, you see who you woke up? Look who woke up.
I
from his nap.
see Gerlitz is here.
He's going to call them for us.
Did he happen to take his old people vitamins today?
I don't know, but I remember something about a metal being stuck up somebody's ass is what I remember.
No. I know that he put it in an envelope. I don't know that he shoved it up Chen's ass. I'm not sure. So, the WHO made this big presentation this week. They did all of the press junkets and spread the information around. Hey, we did something. We released a report, and now they also are paying for a massive social media campaign that will be going on for the next few weeks.
Will the campaign include bots?
I am sure it will, because they do know how to use those, even though they claim that they don't and that we do. They are the bomb diggity. Now, hey, I got Nick. There are multiple versions of the shirt, and they're all in different colors. So you could buy a couple of them for each of your staff members. And obviously, there's boy shirts and girl shirts. So if any of your guys want to wear like their skinny jeans, like their sister's pants, they could wear a girl shirt or whatever. I'm just putting that out there. There's quite a few different options, as well as the Son of Liberty Radio shirt, and the Scallywag, the vaping Scallywag tee is up as well. And Kevin, later on tonight, I will unveil.
Keeping me awake.
The vaping lumberjack shirt. It's already live, but I have not presented it to the people.
Okay.
So we will present it to the people as well.
Yeah.
So David says that he has skinny jeans.
Are
they hip huggers? I mean, I'm just saying. But hey, they, in addition to the massive press releases of the WHO, Kevin.
Yeah.
They did a 1-hour video presentation.
I
so
know. It's scary, isn't it?
There are different versions of the shirt, and they go all the way up to like 5XL, depending on which shirt you pick. There's quite a lot of options. But anyway, yes, they had an entire hour-long presentation. So what I did is I took it upon myself for the viewers so that they didn't have to do it. I actually went through and watched the entire thing. And then I said, well, I'm going to make it easy. So I'm going to break this down into bite-sized chunks of the most relevant pieces.
Did you say snippets? I love
I
snippets.
did say snippets. Now, some of these snippets are up to 3 minutes long. After 3 minutes, we kind of glaze over. But I did want to. I want to bring this out here. So it started out with this British host woman, and she brings out. She plays a video of Dr. Tedros, and then they had Bloomberg, and then they had this lady who apparently is in charge of the FCTC, and then they started bringing out like the people to read the paperwork. See, this is where it gets real. I mean, it's long and arduous, and they end it by trotting out. They weaponized a teenager, or actually 2 teenagers and a young adult person who is in charge of or who works with teenagers to push their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting. But first, I just, you've already seen part of the Tedros intro because I added it to the beginning part. And I did make a Twitter video with the Tedros thing. He essentially is just clapping, patting himself and patting the backs of all of the tobacco control Gestapo people. So I really don't see any point in playing that piece again. But here, let's just play this piece. So y'all are ready, right? Because this is important. You have to use your ears. So there's something in this that will immediately let you know that the WHO is corrupt and on the payroll. Watch this. Watch.
Of the World Health Organization, supported by Bloomberg Philanthropy.
Did you? Let's do it. Let's see if you caught that. Let's see.
On behalf of the World Health Organization, supported by Bloomberg Philanthropies.
What? What? So they're not thinking for themselves.
So the third time, I'm going to play it for the third time so that everybody understands.
On behalf of the World Health Organization, supported by Bloomberg Philanthropies, I'm really proud to welcome you all to the global launch of the WHO report on the global tobacco epidemic 2021.
So, yeah.
Huh.
You got that right. I mean, they just openly admitted. So this is supposedly a non-biased, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't say non-profit because again, but this is supposed to be an international organization that is supported by all of the governments in the world, or at least all of the governments that are members of the World Health Organization, who is on the payroll of Bloomberg. On the payroll. I mean, and we already know, and they know. See, here's the thing. If they had taken money from Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos had never once said an anti-vaping thing, had never once made it his mission to go after vaping, it wouldn't be as important. But this guy, they know, has a very specific agenda that is not based on science, that is not based on evidence.
No.
And they're accepting his money in an area that he has expressed many times opinion, and that he wants to rule the, he wants to tobacco control. You see what it's there? He wants to control the tobacco controllers. So that alone should set you off, Kev.
I want us to do as we tell you because we're a team.
But team. There is no I in team, Kevin.
Is that what they mean? I want us to do what we need to do because that's what we're telling you to do.
I want you to do what I tell you. So the next clip that we have set up is from Mikey. So this is Mikey's video introduction.
MICKEY
MOUSC.
There you go.
Ready, set, go.
Hello, everyone, and congratulations to the WHO on the new Empower report.
Hey, now, do you realize that I did invite Michael Bloomberg to come onto the show?
You did. Yes, you did.
I did, and he's here.
Is he drunk?
Bloomberg Philanthropies has worked closely with the WHO to fight tobacco since 2008, and we've seen extraordinary progress. Just to give a few examples, in 2008, 1 billion people were covered by at least one Empower measure. Today, 5.3 billion people are. Over half the world is now covered by at least two Empower measures. In 2007, just 6% of the people were. Last year, we took more important steps forward, despite the challenges of the pandemic. But at the same time, new products like flavored e-cigarettes pose major threats, especially to young people. Tobacco companies are promoting them as safe alternatives to cigarettes and other tobacco products. It's another dangerous chapter in the industry's history of deception. If we don't act, another generation of kids could get addicted to nicotine.
So I want you to pay attention there, guys. Pay attention there. He didn't say we want people to quit smoking. We don't want people to be addicted to smoking. So what he did say was we don't want people to be addicted to nicotine. So ultimately, yes, I mean, in a perfect world, nobody would ever have smoked. No one would ever have become dependent on nicotine.
Right.
Even though we already know, we absolutely know that there are beneficial properties to nicotine. But yes, in a perfect world, you see what he did there was over the last 3 years, the conversation has gone from combustible tobacco, it's actually been a little bit longer than that, but has gone from stopping smoking to stopping nicotine. Now, that argument, the reason they did that, Kevin, is twofold. A, smoking numbers are down.
Yep.
Smoking numbers are down, lower than they've ever been, and they have to have a new boogeyman.
Almost globally.
Obviously there are places in the world where smoking is higher than others.
Right. Indigenous.
Right. Yeah. Plus we already know that people like us at least like me, that are, maybe not quite sane. Those of us that are neurodiverse, that might have problems. 70% of the cigarettes purchased in America are by people that are neurodiverse. Mm-hmm. So yes, in certain populations, it's going to be higher than in others. And in certain geographical locations, it's higher than others, but almost universally, cigarettes smoking is down.
And for the record, the shitty modulation is because of the video, not from us or Patrick in this instance. I can't understand how
there's modulation problems. What?
It's fuzzy muzzle bullshit story.
Obviously there is fuzzy logic going on, but if there's fuzzy audio, it's coming out quite clear in mine. Except for the in the background of your microphone. Anyway, let's listen to the rest. There's not much more Mikey here.
And we can't let that happen. Some countries are already taking action, and by highlighting their efforts, this report will help others join them. Together we can keep making progress and save many more lives. Thanks for all your great work, and all the best.
You're welcome.
So Mike's point is, the whole thing is that Mike wants to control what goes into your body.
Yes.
As well as, if you remember, the definition of Puritanism is the sinking suspicion that somewhere somebody is having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, and Skip is on my side. She says the audio is clear.
Okay.
So to me, it seems like Mike is justifying the expense of spending billions of dollars to defeat something that's already defeated.
Sure.
So then, obviously, we have to make a new monster. So let's go after the dastardly nicotine.
Dastardly.
I use the word dastardly again because I know you like it.
In all my 7 thoughts in my head a week, I would assume and imagine that Bloomberg has investments in a gazillion things.
Gazillion.
I'm sure at least 1 gazillion, if not 2. And he probably has tobacco in that portfolio, I would think. I mean, because it's very
I bet you $10. I bet you $10 he is not directly
invested. But within the spectrum of stupidity.
Now, why do you keep bringing up the spectrum? Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, and speaking of come on, man.
Come on.
I did have to Twitter chastise Kevin.
I got all excited.
I sent stuff into the private chat that we have that we're putting topics in, and then 5 minutes later I look, and on Twitter there's something that I just sent Kevin that is intended to be on tonight's show.
Well, put
I'm
it
like,
on.
come on, man! Quit sharing
on,
stuff. Quit sharing stuff that that we're gonna talk about on the show before we talk about it. Because, like I said, we know that Bloomy or the WHO are watching us right now.
Well, I hope. I
really want to shock them with the factual information that they accidentally released. They accidentally put some truth into their video, and I don't believe that they intended to. So the next clip is the woman that is in charge of the FC. She's the secretariat, or she's part of the WHO FCTC secretariat. So anyway, let's check this out. Ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay.
Go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. On behalf of the Secretariat of the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, or the WHO FCTC as we call it, and the Protocol to Eliminate Illicit Trade in Tobacco Products, I want to warmly congratulate the World Health Organization.
Okay, did you get that? They're working to remove the illicit trade of tobacco.
I got jokes.
Did you hear that?
Now, Patrick, tell me why they want to remove the illicit trade that they're never going to be able to. What is the goal of it, removing that trade?
So that they can control. But the problem is part of their control is banning, is demonizing, is attacking, is creating black markets. Which in itself creates illicit tobacco markets.
No. So if they have an illicit black market, what is it that they're missing? Well, 2 things that they're missing.
Well, they're not doing their job. If
they're not doing their job,
creating illicit markets,
and they're not collecting their.
Oh no! Don't bring that up yet.
Oh, okay.
Don't.
I did something earlier.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Fuck. Fine, drink.
Because there's a
just start drinking.
Okay, fine. Let's keep going.
In tobacco products, I want to warmly congratulate the World Health Organization and welcome its publication of the report on the global tobacco epidemic 2021, the 8th.
Okay. Global world tobacco epidemic.
Well, now it's a world epidemic. Okay.
And not only that, but didn't we just cover that smoking cigarettes is at a historic all-time low?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll hit 5% at best. And Dave can probably tell me better, but my guess is 5% eventually. Global.
But we're in an epidemic?
But well, you see, the problem with the word epidemic is that they don't know what it means. One,
well,
two.
No. I mean, we've noticed with their mishandling of a global viral pandemic.
Two,
and hey guys, let's be clear. There is indeed a global viral pandemic going on. I want everybody to understand there is indeed a global viral pandemic going on. And we are currently going through a fairly big upswing in that. But anyway, I just want everybody, I want all the people to understand, yes, there is a viral pandemic. But anyway, back to the tobacco epidemic that apparently, even during a historic all-time low, is so frightening. So let's continue.
In a series. Unfortunately, the endless interference of the tobacco industry has also grown, even during the pandemic, with the industry's so-called corporate social responsibility efforts.
Okay, so now she's upset that the people that have been doing bad things, and let's be clear, yes, tobacco companies have done bad things.
Sure they have.
But those people are mostly dead.
They're all dead.
But, so a company who made mistakes, and plenty of them, nobody is defending the tobacco industry.
Well, who aren't necessarily watched over time. They became watched. So they didn't really try to sneak it out. They just did it.
Well, yeah, but here we are, these companies are trying to maybe reform their act. Maybe the younger people that are working at these companies now are maybe morally a little bit better than the other ones. And they've decided, hey, let's stop producing a product that kills everybody that uses it, or half the people that use it. Let's try moving into a different area. Even the mob have been known to have legitimate businesses, So yeah, let's be clear. Yes, if this is the case, then they don't believe that anybody can ever be reformed. So therefore, we should just kill every prisoner that we have in prisons, because they will not be reformed.
Psychotic nanny state.
I mean, you get the correlate. You get. I mean, there's an actual one-to-one comparison there. So they're saying that nobody can ever be redeemed.
No. And
we can't trust those people.
No.
So let's just give no credence or weight to the work that they're doing, because they're evil. They're evil. They will be evil. They're never going to be anything but evil. So if that's the case, then you don't believe that people can be reformed. So let's just go to every prison in the world and just kill every prisoner, because they cannot be reformed.
Fine.
I mean, that's what the World Health Organization is basically saying here, is that these tobacco companies cannot be reformed and must be destroyed.
Aren't they also human rights believers or something?
That's part of their that is, and we will get into the different pillars of the
Fine.
Even though you shared the pillar early, but anyway, let's go.
While the advances detailed in the report are encouraging, there is a need to accelerate implementation of the convention and its protocol. Furthermore,
and she brought up the convention.
Furthermore,
this is the treaty, right? This is really the only treaty that they have.
Which
the FCTC is. Yep. This is the only treaty that they have. So later on, not now, Kevin. Later on, we're going to actually discuss the treaty. I actually put a link to a PDF of the actual English text of the actual official treaty from the World Health Organization, FCTC official page. So this cannot be doctored. This is the actual thing.
Right.
And this is something that they put on their website. So that means that they must believe in it, because they've signed it. They forced all these other companies or countries to sign it. So therefore, it's important to them, right? And they should be following everything in that. Okay. Just check it.
As this most recent report shows, new challenges lie ahead. Electronic nicotine delivery systems, also known as e-cigarettes, and novel tobacco products are promoted as healthier alternatives to smoking by their manufacturers, and for many of these products, it's the same tobacco industry that is producing them, and by their supporters.
So they're saying she just basically she chucked out the, well, you know, all those vaping companies are big tobacco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She didn't actually say those words, but she said
implied.
I mean, as implied that e-cigarettes that many these companies are marketing as healthy. She didn't say she didn't claim they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that by admission she did not claim that they weren't? But since the big tobacco companies are claiming that they're healthier, obviously they can't be. So there's a lot of silent text going on, subtext.
Yep.
Kevin.
Gaslighting.
But anti-independent research shows the real risk profile of these products, governments should be cautious.
Now that's a lie. That's lie number one. That's actually verbally a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I looked like you were gonna say something.
I'm trying to be good.
You don't have to be good. Anyway.
Is she also one of the cessation things in that computer bullshit story they got?
I don't know.
Hey, Mark.
I haven't actually done any. I didn't open a biography of these people.
Oh.
Well,
gaslighting at its fine. You know, you've got a pandemic going on.
A real pandemic.
Whether it doesn't matter which side you're on a mask. There's something going on in the fucking world, and they're talking about nicotine that's been around for a gazillion years. This is the most important thing that they can think of to talk about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's been sponsored by Bloomberg. I'm sorry.
Oh, and guess who's in the chat room right now?
Who? Mike? Is Mickey there?
Jeffrey Zamora
Yoo-hoo!
Is in the chat room again. We really need to get Jeffrey on the show at some point.
This could get heated.
Anyway.
Based evidence, not marketing, should guide their actions.
Okay, now I have to. This is something that came up separate from this, Kevin. But marketing.
Uh-huh.
The word marketing has nothing to do with flavor.
No, true.
It has nothing to do with flavor. Marketing is packaging. Marketing is how somebody, how it's actually advertised.
Uh-huh.
How it's promoted. Flavor is not marketing.
The style and look.
Okay, so later on, after this video presentation, we will get into a discussion of marketing as well. That's one of the other topics that may or may not have been in the show notes. But anyway, because there are tons of things that are not in the show notes, Kevin. Did you notice I left stuff off?
I think you did.
Okay, just checking. Yeah.
I call on governments that are parties to the WHO FCTC and its protocol to pull together in the efforts to strengthen implementation of these public health treaties and to build a new future for the population, where not only COVID-19 has been defeated, but also the harms caused by tobacco use. There has never been a more pressing time to support population in quitting tobacco use and to raise taxes on tobacco products.
Well,
I warned you that it was there. To raise taxes on tobacco products.
That's their first.
Not it. I'm gonna pull this back just a little bit. I'm gonna go over here to the little progress thing. I'm gonna go back maybe 5. Let's go 10 seconds. Okay.
Tobacco use. There has never been a more pressing time to support population in quitting tobacco use and to raise taxes on tobacco products.
Now, she said There is no time better to get people off of tobacco use.
Yep.
And raise tobacco taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is still quite unclear if the WHO and their member countries will agree or have agreed that vaping is actually a tobacco product. Now, the United States is obviously made their decision on that.
Yeah.
But she alone just opened the door there. Quite a few countries in the WHO FCTC have not made that definition, have not done that. So she's making assumptions here instead, and she didn't do the Bloomberg thing and specifically say nicotine use.
Right.
So by unanimous consent of herself,
mm-hmm.
and maybe the Secretariat, they have made their own definitional change and are by default claiming that vaping is a tobacco product. And
correct.
And the good part, the best part of this is not even, she hasn't even, I'm going to pull it back a few seconds again, and then we'll play it again. And I won't stop at the same time this time, I promise. Okay.
For population in quitting tobacco use and to raise taxes on tobacco products, not only to curb tobacco consumption, but also to raise much needed revenues to fund pandemic recovery efforts.
What?
Ding, 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 ding.
Much needed revenues. What?
Much needed revenues.
What? Is that what you said?
Not only,
Karen?
not only to stop tobacco use, but to provide much needed
well, Patrick,
money.
I've said this 1,000 fucking times. If you have 100 people in a room and you're taxing them at $1, and then 3 people quit, and that was your goal, but you want to keep those revenues rolling through, what do you need to do? You need to increase taxes on 97 people, right?
Yeah.
So now it's a Ponzi scheme.
But again,
by
this
definition,
is the first time that at least I've ever seen the WHO openly admit, hey, let's tax these products so that we can put money in the bank.
Well, it's been implied.
To spend on other things other than tobacco smoking cessation.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not even talking about that yet.
No. They did not say, again, I mean, she specifically says for much needed financial recovery.
So being a pharmaceutical front group that they are, obviously, their partners want this. Period.
I don't think the pharmaceutical companies are hurting right now because of the COVID vaccine.
Well,
I mean,
how much is too much?
The 3 biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world are producing different variations of the vaccine, and there are several others that are also producing, so they're making fucking money.
But too much is never enough. No,
well, if you're going to give me more, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Was that it?
So that was it. That I told you I broke it down. I mean, that was her whole speech. That was her whole spiel.
Yeah.
Was give me money.
I thought it
give
was
me money.
Fucking in detention or something, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty good. And like I said, I didn't cut anything out. That was the entire piece. I didn't edit it in any way, shape, or form. Right. And she openly admitted their motivation is to make money.
It really didn't say, we need to try to help anyone. We need to assist in facilitating some clinics,
developing education programs,
right,
or
fuck you. We want to get rid of the
smoking cessation.
Black market's got to go. We need more money because the black market's killing us, and we need to tax these two.
No, but like I said, she admitted at the beginning of that their mission.
Oh, it's a mission
from the FCTC is to stop illicit tobacco markets. So let's ban this legal product that people like and use, and make them go to an illicit market.
I like that Matt Myers and Robin Koval can actually make her lips move that way through Bloomberg. That's fascinating to me.
What's really funny is one of the Pave Mom's kid.
What?
Is later.
Can you imagine how important you are when you... All right, I'll shut up. You guys drink in the meantime.
She got one of... I mean, her kid had to go in and participate in this. And he basically took down the entire WHO, FCTC, their whole strategy. Like, he took it down. Like, he destroyed it.
He did.
And he was there to promote their activities. But in one sentence, he basically destroyed everything that they do. And they haven't even noticed it yet.
No, they don't even understand what they're doing.
I mean, psychologically, this is crazy. They brought that kid on there, and he made a comment. He made a statement, and then the host of the thing repeated it and said, "Yeah, that's right." So, yeah, but that's not yet. Let's keep going. The next clip is Rudiger. I think his name is Rudiger. Let's watch Rudiger. I'm pretty sure his name is Rudiger.
Pleasure to be here with you today and to have the opportunity to mark the launch of this important report. Empower is a package of tools that WHO launched in 2008 to help countries implement the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. Empower represents a package of cost-effective interventions that are known and have proven to reduce the demand for tobacco. We are pleased to find that
again, tobacco.
Money.
Despite the significant challenges countries have faced in the time of this COVID pandemic, progress in tobacco control has persevered. Now, 5.3 billion people are covered by at least one Empower measure at the highest level of achievement. Indeed, 4.4 billion people are now covered by at least two measures. That is more than half the world's population.
Okay.
Are they justifying their work? Is that what they're doing?
Well, no, what he's basically doing is bragging about how their regime, I'm going to use the word regime, has taken control over that many people's lives. I mean, if you don't look at this they're basically saying they've doubled the amount of power and the number of people that they exercise power over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is essentially what this guy is bragging about. Pretty sure his name is Rudiger. And if it's not, I really like that name.
Population living in over half of all countries. In 2007, there was less than 500 million protected to this extent. But these last 18 months have also shown us the extent to which the tobacco and other industries involved in the manufacture of e-cigarettes will go to make a profit.
Wow. You bastards.
So, you notice, bastards. Again, they're equating tobacco with vaping, yet the World Health Organization and all their members have not agreed on a definition for that.
Right. Not that I've ever seen, and I've watched, but not close enough.
Yeah,
so
no.
Who knows?
I mean, every country in the world would have to, or not every country in the world, but
his tie is crooked because Bloomberg is yanking on it.
Yes, under the table. The links that Mike will go to.
That was good.
And Jeffrey Zamora hit it right on the head. Control, but no success. 20 years of failure.
I realized Ash is 53 years old. They were formed the year I was born. 50 years of failure. And 20 years with who? Yeah.
So,
crazy.
Anyway, again, like I said, bragging about, well, first, again, talking about tobacco. Then going on to the number of people they have control over. And now they're going to talk about vaping. So yeah, let's continue.
They have attempted to brand themselves as part of the solution and a public health ally, while still.
Well, first, again, tobacco, vaping, tobacco companies, e-cigarettes, branding themselves at, I mean, he's drawing a straight line between things that are not on the same line. Correct. And saying, hey, these companies are trying to make you think that they care about you and that they feel bad about what they did in the past. And, in some places they're even claiming, in the UK, they're claiming that they're, some of the, was it PMI has said that they're no longer going to sell cigarettes in the UK after a certain date.
10 years. That's the goal.
Yeah. I mean, because they also understand that there's nothing on the market that will get every smoker to quit quickly.
No.
So they're working on innovation. They bought 2 pharmaceutical companies that have the patents on unique delivery systems. And Owl is here. Hello, Andrew. Andrew and I had conversations today.
Yeah.
But after, we'll show you what we were talking about.
But really,
wait, there's more.
Look how important he is sitting in front of those signs or that sign or that logo.
Well, I mean,
this is a trusted guy. Look at him. You can tell, except for when he's jerking off. Never mind.
But to be clear, this guy in Geneva, he's in Geneva. This guy in Geneva is 100 times more professional looking than the person that the WHO hired to be the host, the yabber woman that the one that the British lady that's at the beginning. She doesn't even have a green screen. She's using virtual green screen, and it's blurring out part of her head, and it just doesn't look good. I mean, you would think as much money as they had and as much money as Bloomberg has, that he would have at least made it a slightly more professional.
It would have been better than ours, and ours is better.
Kevin, our show is better looking than theirs.
Of course it is.
And like we're on like a no budget. We're like on
Plus
a budget.
We got beautiful, smart guests that are beautiful humans.
Nick, for helping pay for some of the stuff that we do, but our sponsors, I don't gouge them. I charge them the bare minimum to keep the lights on. But anyway, let's listen to Rudiger some more.
Marketing and profiting from tobacco across the globe. And e-cigarettes, which are marketed to children and adolescents.
There's that damn word again. Marketed to children and adolescents. So there's a really nice Twitter thread that Chauncey put up, and we'll probably go over it later. But again, I don't believe that any company, whether that's a big tobacco company or whether that's a bunch of guys making e-liquid in their kitchen or in their bathroom or in their basement, ever said, hey, we're going to sell this stuff to kids. Now, they may have made some poor judgmental decisions, when it came to what they're going to slap on their label. But again, most of those people never marketed on a brand, on a global stage. These people have probably never seen, Bob's Bathtub e-liquid brand with Mickey Mouse on the side of the bottle or, whatever. He is specifically referring to a print ad from Juul or a print ad campaign from Juul with young adult people. And the word adult is included in there. Young adult means adult. Because their packaging was a white fucking box with the word Juul and a little colored rectangle. That is in no way, shape, or form marketing to kids. You're muted. Or your microphone got unplugged. There you go. That's better.
What was that about?
I have no idea.
The complaint and the claim 2 syllables, claim by some idiots was that these kids don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know there's nicotine in it. Well, it says this contains nicotine on the package, you fucktards. So obviously your children are brain damaged, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's finish. Rudiger only has a little. We're more than halfway done with Rudiger.
Threaten to hook a new generation to nicotine.
Yes, yes.
For the first time, this report presents new data on the state of regulation applied to e-cigarettes and other electronic nicotine delivery systems. These products are not only addictive and harmful, but most are modifiable. And
really?
Modifiable.
Most. Oh, that's scary.
No, they can actually build coils or change the cotton, or
you can put a scope on it, or you can have it do your homework for you. Or, wow.
I mean, again, and this is a throwback to language that was included in the comment from Reynolds when they put their PMTA not PMTA, but the initial deeming.
Closed systems.
They submitted a 400-page comment on the open comment period on registration.gov, the federal registrar's website. That's where you go and make public comments. They included language in there, and I'm going to pat myself on the back because at the time nobody could find Reynolds's comment because their corporation for vapor at the time was RAI. So I actually found it and sent it to Greg Conley. I said, I found it for you. Boom.
Is this it here?
I don't know.
Hang on.
But there are specifically language in there that talks about the modification of product and that's deleterious to the health. No, that's not it because it doesn't have the word deleterious.
Okay.
So that might be in there, but that is not the comment that I was referring to.
Okay.
Are difficult to distinguish from some tobacco products, making their regulation a challenge.
Okay, so they're saying that
they can't
some
tell the
vaping
difference.
products look exactly like combustible cigarettes, and therefore it would be very hard for them to be regulated.
Right.
Excuse me?
Because that's
even a closed pod doesn't look like a cigarette.
I'm trying to trick you.
Even a cigarette doesn't look like a cigarette because guess what? You don't light it on fire.
I don't want to fool anybody, but these are it's hard to discern what the hell these things are.
But like I said, even a and this is a refillable e-cigarette, but even a cigarette like this.
Yeah, it's got a light and it's got a yeah. And you can't smell
I don't
smoke.
like the tip of it on fire. And oh my God, Kevin, they could be used. They could be used to vape other things.
No,
they can't really because they're different.
My nephew told me that they'd been doing that a lot longer than these had been around, and I was like, "What?" Because
herbal vaporizers have been around longer than
I had no idea. I'd never heard of them. Had no idea.
And
what's a blunt?
Well, that is not an e-cigarette. That is not an electronic vaping device.
Oh my God.
So anyway, let's listen to Rudiger some more.
With the proliferation and rapid evolution of these products on the market, it is crucial that they are regulated so that everyone is protected, including measures to prevent their use amongst current non-smokers.
Right.
Okay, so he's saying regulate. That's perfectly fine. Regulation is fine.
Why is he banning it from non-smokers?
Well, because they want you to start on a cigarette so that they can get that tax money.
Yeah. But they don't want non-smokers to use vaping products.
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, yeah.
It seems
again,
right, but it seems silly.
In the imaginary perfect world.
There you go. Okay. All right. I'm just checking. Because honestly, if my best friend said, you know, I want to start vaping, I'd ask him a whole shitload of questions, but I'm not going to stop him. But less than 1% in the friggin' world is going to go, I'd like to start vaping. Honestly. Because most people are afraid of smoking.
I actually do know people that never smoked that vape.
That do vape. Okay.
And I'm not a god, and I'm not omniscient, so I can't I can't say that they would never have smoked. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty smart, but I am not. I don't know everything. So
you're killing your image in my mind. All right, go on.
You know, I would have to say that if they're drawn to vaping, at least they're not smoking, Kevin.
And there is my point.
Like the children and adolescents they target.
Again, there's that children and adolescents targeting business again.
That's the problem. They're talking about kids, and they're confusing them with adults.
Well, in their mind, you can't be an adult until you're like 40 now.
Well, yeah.
Thank you all for being here today.
You're welcome.
Can you make me do other stuff too?
Mind control, Kevin.
Gaslighting is very, very hard to. I don't know. So he likes money. He doesn't want kids to do shit.
And he's on the payroll.
And you really can't tell the difference between smoke and non-smoke.
Apparently this
it's science, but
all of these devices, this or whatever.
Oh, hey.
Cannot be distinguished by a cigarette. You got a nicotine pouch, dude.
My son got this for free when he purchased his cigarettes. And I said, give me that. So there you go.
So convenience store is giving away.
It was a giveaway.
Nicotine pouches with the purchase of cigarettes.
Yep. So it's only 4G, but I'm going to try it. Or 4.
Well, you never know because it may hit you differently than.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Janine says that she's honestly never seen e-cigarette ads and asks if it's a Canadian thing. I've seen plenty.
I saw blue
of vaping commercials on TV, cable TV in the United States.
I saw blue.
If you watch CNN in the mornings, there for a long time, every morning there was 2 or 3 views.
Views is on the radio like crazy, and I haven't seen any commercials.
On the CNN, on the CNN would sell ad time to vaping company, to big vape companies, to tobacco companies.
They'd sell airtime to Satan for all you know.
Well, it is CNN. Just saying.
Ooh, puff pass.
All right, let's see. This I have only named WHO clip 5, so I'm not sure what this is. As soon as I load it, I will know what it is.
All right.
Okay.
So moving on to the theme of.
Okay, I know what this is now. This is the actual woman that is responsible for summarizing the report. So this should be interesting. And this is the section because there was some other stuff on here, but this is the section that specifically talks about ENDS or vaping products or e-cigarettes. Okay.
So moving on to the theme of this report, electronic nicotine delivery systems, many of which are known as e-cigarettes, and I will use the terms interchangeably here. Access to e-cigarettes is rapidly increasing across the globe, and we wanted to see what kinds of measures are currently in place in countries to help regulate them. We looked at most of the Empower measures as they would be applied to e-cigarettes, as well as sales bans, restrictions placed on sales to minors, and the regulation of e-cigarette flavors. Next slide, please.
Okay, so I want everybody to read all the things on there. So these are the measures that the World Health Organization are promoting to their member nations on how they should deal with ENDS or vaping products or e-cigarettes. So, one, they want to ban the use of ENDS or vaping or e-cigarettes in indoor public areas, which is fine by me. I don't mind that, as long as it's the property owner that's making that decision and not the government.
No one else, right?
Graphic health warnings applied to packaging of ENDS. So, what graphic health warning can you apply to an END, to a vaping or e-cigarette product? So, on cigarettes, they show the lungs of a smoker. I've seen photographs of cancerous lungs on the pack of cigarettes. I've seen a photograph of somebody that had a tracheotomy, and who, obviously, or cancer pictures or things like that. But since there is no known illness or damage or anything that you could apply to a graphic warning on cigarettes or on e-cigarettes, I mean, what graphic warning are they wanting to include?
What are the harms?
They're literally none.
You could put the formaldehyde on there with that, cinnamon thing, but you're reaching really hard.
Yeah. I mean, literally I can't think of any graphic warning, anything that they could take a picture of and slap on the side of a pack of cigarettes that would be considered a graphical warning, unless they want to show a picture of my healthy chest x-rays that show that my lungs look nice and clean.
And the 50, 60 odd statements from what Charles has collected.
Yeah.
They could use those.
So prohibiting advertising, promotion, and sponsorship of ENDS. So, we have that here, in America. We can't have NASCAR sponsored vaping cars, or NASCAR, not NASCAR sponsored, but we can't have a vaping sponsored NASCAR car. Right. We can't have, we shouldn't be having little league teams that are sponsored by vaping companies. I know that in the past I've seen something. So I mean, again, I actually particularly don't care about that part. I mean, obviously, I would love these companies to be able to advertise the real benefits of their products.
I can. You can.
Okay. Yeah. Monitoring of ENDS use. So, I'm okay with the government tracking who's using, not who, but how many people and stuff. That
sales data, absolutely, they can do what they want. I don't give two shits about that.
Let's see, taxation applied to ENDS devices and e-liquids.
Yeah, now you're pissing me off.
I'm a taxation and theft kind of guy, but I'm fine with sales tax.
Sales tax only, yes. In your local state, whatever.
I mean, if they want to apply a tobacco tax that's based on a percentage of harm, if they want to charge a sales tax on vaping products that is 5% of the tobacco tax that is charged to combustible tobacco products,
as long as they can prove the harm, yes, okay.
The 5% harm, I mean, I'm willing to admit that, yeah, sure, up to 5%. A minimum age restriction on sale and purchase of ENDS, I'm perfectly fine with that. Mm-hmm. I don't think that 14-year-old kids should be vaping. I don't think 16-year-old kids should be vaping. And I mean, God forbid, I don't think that, 17-year-old kids should be vaping. But I'm myself, if I'm a firm believer in the fact that if you're 18 and can go and take a bullet for your country or step on a landmine or get hit by an IED for your country,
Chris
you should be able to vape.
Chris is not just his ass, his entire ass. Regulation of ENDS
flavors. I don't think the government should tell me what I like.
I can't imagine how they can tell me what I like. I don't understand.
You see that Addy came in after we've been on for like an hour already?
Yeah, but
he's missed like all of the content for an hour. And there's a lot. You're gonna have to go back and watch.
We're not even
starting
riled
over.
up.
We love you, Addy, but we're not going to start over.
What's this bans bullshit? What's that about?
So it says bans on sale of ends.
That's
so.
What's the word? Ambiguous.
That last one negates everything above. Because if you ban the sale of ends, you don't need to worry about the use of ends in public, and you don't need to worry about graphical warnings, and you don't need to worry about advertisements, and you don't need to be worrying about monitoring because you've banned the sale. And you don't even need to be worried about regulating them because you've banned them.
Let me check. Ambiguous. Yeah, well, it's unclear or inexact because of a choice between alternatives has not been made. Yeah, close enough.
So, again, they spent billions on this. Millions.
Oh, they took billions on this.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't spend shit.
Well, Bloomberg gave them money.
Here, slap this shit together. Let's pretend we're important. Get a tie.
We found, we found that out of 100.
So these are maps of the world and the different countries that have stuff in place, and based on how much bad stuff they have in place, it changes the color of them on the map.
195 countries, 111 countries regulate e-cigarettes. 32 of these countries applied sales bans on the products, and 79 adopted to some extent a ban on the use of e-cigarettes either in public areas, a ban on e-cigarette advertising, promotion, and sponsorship, or the adoption of graphic health warnings on e-cigarette packaging.
So if they're pushing governments to put graphic health warnings on e-cigarettes, they're essentially telling the government to lie.
Right. Psychotic nanny state.
Okay, let's keep going.
Next, please. We did not have data for all countries where taxation is concerned, but for the 86 we did have data on, 1/3 applied no excise taxes at all to ends products.
You see that 3 countries put a 75% retail tax on e-liquid? 75%.
And where taxation was applied, it was generally low. In only 3 countries, that taxed e-liquids at 75% or more of the retail price. Next, please. While only 29% of countries monitor ends.
I have to address Jeffrey's comment. Jeffrey, no PMTA is ever going to get approved. Just saying. At least no open vapor PMTA is ever going to get approved. Sadly, yes, that is a reality. That the UK, in my opinion, is going to go after them at COP9. That is going to become so visible that the only countries lowering the ground, only countries to become so visible, lowering the smoking prevalence are pro THR. So FCTC is going to demonstrate that it's not necessary. So is fundraising. Well, I don't. So for one thing, you know how impossible. I was listening to Christopher Snowden and Clive Bates were on a podcast this week, and it was a British podcast, and I was listening to them. Are you aware that it's almost impossible to find out who the delegate is from your country that is going to COP?
I wonder why.
And I mean, we already know. No, Clive Bates, not Clive Barker. And we already know that the actual media is never allowed in these. I saw somebody post a tweet this week that they were like they're closing the council of the parties and are not allowing the media. I'm like, they've never allowed media in. This is, I mean, we've been covering this for years. They've never allowed. I mean, Dave tried to get in and they fucking pulled his travel papers. Remember that?
Yes, they did. I have a question. this lady's explaining how this is going to work. So if you have taxes, you're going to eliminate youth use, correct?
There's not gonna be because the last thing on their their 7-step thing is banning. So there's no reason to even tax it because they're banning it.
But taxes should deter youth use, correct?
No, they have more expendable income than adults do.
No, in theory,
because they get money from mommy and daddy.
In their theory, in their mantra, in their little words, taxes will reduce youth use. Yes, that's the goal.
That's
allegedly.
That's allegedly
their words.
Their feeling on the matter, but we all know in practice that's not a reality.
Why would they need to monitor the ends in youth if they already said that taxes will stop the youth from go on? I'm sorry. Just asking silly questions.
Yeah. I agree. It was a silly question.
Use amongst adults, monitoring of ends use amongst youth is increasingly common, with almost 45% of countries collecting data on ends use in adolescence. Next slide, please. Thank you. For measures that could particularly help protect young people from the uptake of e-cigarettes, we found that only 69 countries apply age restrictions to the sale or purchase of ends. Less than half of those that have similar restrictions for tobacco products. And finally, only 9 countries have adopted a form of regulation to control
Would she say less than half?
Less than half of the countries that are members of the FCTC.
Okay.
Availability of flavored ends on their markets. We know that flavors like those that are fruity or candy based are appealing to young people.
And old people.
You old people.
Only 3 countries as of 2020 banned all flavors apart from tobacco flavoring. Our findings reveal the real need for regulation of e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
Regulation, but the end game they put on the beginning of the thing said ban.
Ends products in general. 84 countries currently have no regulation in place for these products. While tobacco and related industries like e-cigarette manufacturers claim to be marketing these products to current tobacco users, flavors and other marketing strategies that are aimed at children and adolescents put these young generations at risk of nicotine addiction and of progression to conventional tobacco use.
Lie.
Next slide, please.
All right, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the miracle that we made happen.
Mm-hmm. Just about as long as they've been around, give or
23 in 2007, 23% of the people smoked, right? That's what I'm looking at here.
Yep.
In 2000 and I actually know somebody that's been vaping since 2008.
Okay.
And by 2019, you notice they didn't put 2020 and 2021 on here. They went to 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's already down to 17%.
And I'm still saying 5. It'll always be there. It will never go away. Ever. Never, ever.
Again, Jeffrey.
She said next lie, please.
Again, Jeffrey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but no independent open vapor e-liquid will get a PMTA through. Ultimately, they will not. I mean, after listening to Demetrius talk on his show this week, and obviously we know the requirements and the price tag that's available or that's part of that, no American open vapor product will get a PMTA through. Not any time in the next 10 years. Anyway.
The global commitment to tobacco control and the adoption of cost-effective measures like those in the Empower package have made great progress in reducing tobacco use. Between 2007 and 2019, the prevalence of tobacco use amongst adults has decreased from 23% to 17%. We must stay focused on...
What was that, Kevin?
What happened between 2007 and 2019 again?
Did I just not say that I know somebody that's been vaping since 2009 or 2008?
And did she say that it was under their great leadership and other bullshit stories that they've lowered the tobacco?
Again, I don't care. I don't care if they claim responsibility for somebody else's work, but at least acknowledge that the work was done.
But the whole thing's about vaping, and they're saying they did this, and this is why we're worried. This is why right here, because look,
Smoking
we're
went
losing
down,
money,
and now we're
losing
upset.
Money. I didn't mean to interrupt her.
And again, Troop, I am not saying that some great hurdles have been made, but the end goal is still unachievable. I just said that. Liquids. No American company is going to be able to get everything that is required for the PMTA, period.
Further reducing tobacco use across the world and protecting those most vulnerable to tobacco industry tactics. Next slide, please. COVID-19 has had a huge impact on health systems globally. Services providing for people suffering from non-communicable diseases have been severely disrupted. Smoking is not only the reason for many chronic conditions, but also makes people more vulnerable to severe COVID-19 outcomes.
Okay, so she went from vaping to talk about the harms of smoking.
It's all the same.
So they're conflating, confusing, and misdirecting.
It's all the same. Ooh, Mark said 04. Man. Love it.
No independent open vapor e-liquid company is what I said. Now, if, for example, one of the companies that I know for a fact has been purchased by a big tobacco company, puts a PMTA through and has PMTA or has tobacco company scientists in Geneva doing the paperwork, maybe. And I do know of a couple that are owned by big tobacco companies now.
You see that build
Tobacco
back
should
better.
be deeply.
Oh, yeah. Did you notice the build back better?
Build back better.
Yeah, that's in there. That's the global. That's the new global phrase here. Let's go back a little bit.
The reason for many chronic conditions, but also makes people more vulnerable to severe COVID-19 outcomes. Tobacco should be deeply embedded in our endeavors to build back to a better future.
Now, she did try to hide it by saying build back, and then she paused and said to a better future. But she still got build back better in there.
Health systems and a healthier world for all. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, everything in there, let's conflate. Let's talk about regulating, but let's also include the word ban in the final line of our expectations. Tax until we ban. Boom, 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 boom. At the end, though, the end game is ban.
You know, I got a little meme on Twitter: regulate, restrict, tax, and ban. It felt like it flowed really well. Regulate, restrict, tax, and ban. And that's in what form?
You get somebody to make a song. Ernie says there could be a song.
Regulate, restrict, tax, and ban has been the goal from the moment I realized with David's blog what they were doing. And that just rolls off my tongue like a song. You're right.
Like a song. So the next one here, let's listen to this next one. This one again is not labeled. I'm a horrible person. I did not tell myself what this is.
Well, you're a horrible person.
Bring in Serene Jung, Dr. Jung.
Oh, okay. I know who this is.
Jesus.
Serena, it's widely claimed, or at least some claim, that e-cigarettes actually help people transition then away from smoking.
Because it does.
Because we don't want to admit this, and we don't care. We're going to do what we're going to do, despite you bastards.
Let's diminish the personal stories of everybody that has ever quit smoking. Let's make them anecdotes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
I want to bring in Serene Jung, Dr. Jung. Serene, it's widely claimed, or at least some claim, that e-cigarettes actually help people transition then away from smoking tobacco, and it sort of assists the quitting process. But I understand that you've got some evidence that actually shows that e-cigarettes are being taken up by new smokers.
So the questions that we've looked at are whether non-smoking children and adolescents.
Oh, I do want to say I did make a cut here. I will admit that I made a cut here because in the middle of her sentence, she stops and complains about feedback from her, and you can actually hear it. Like you can hear the feedback. So I did cut her complaint. There was a period there where so I took that out just for the shortness of the clip. Did not change any content at all.
No for Skip's question, and the whole link is in the chat already.
Yes, and the whole show, the whole thing is an hour, and our show we're at an hour and 22 minutes, but that's because I'm pausing to make asinine and snide comments about their stuff. I will admit that I'm being snarky.
Are you being
snarky? The use of e-cigarette may increase the risk of taking up cigarette later on. And we've undertaken a review specifically to explore this question. And the reason we undertake reviews is that we really wanted to consider the global evidence. And review processes can help, I guess, overcome spurious findings in kind of statistical imprecision. And what we found when we looked at the evidence was that there was consistent evidence that showed that children and adolescents who did not smoke and used e-cigarettes were more likely to use cigarettes at follow-up.
Now we've addressed this particular thing. Some kids are going to be risk takers. Some kids have some sort of damage or trauma in their life, or stress, or mental problem, whether they're neurodiverse or whatever, and those kids would have probably smoked anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
and that association stayed constant, controlling for a range of other factors. And so we know that the evidence is building and really suggesting that there's a strong link there.
See,
so is
may, could, might. There's a link. We're not sure.
Link.
We want to know because we need money. Give me some money and then we'll bring it up.
Okay, this next part is fun. This part is fun.
The evidence pointing to the fact that e-cigarettes are actually a gateway then to tobacco use?
That's a very sensitive question to ask a researcher, I think.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, so while a lot of the studies didn't explore that specifically, I would say there's from how we can explore it, right, it's looking from high quality prospective observational studies that have controlled for as many factors as people can control for, have quite strongly established that there's a link between using it at one point and taking up cigarettes at another point. However, you want to use that.
If you can take 17 seconds to answer a fucking question, you can't answer the fucking question.
You couldn't even waited for her to actually say that she can't answer that question.
Oh God.
I mean, there's literally like 5 seconds left, and you couldn't have waited.
Fine.
You couldn't have waited. I have to back it up a little bit now.
Fine.
Keep. Hold your britches.
Between using it at one point and taking up cigarettes at another point. However, you want to use that information.
Okay. Well, slightly cryptic then, the messaging from you, but I think we get the point.
I think we get the point. She didn't answer the question.
How come?
But you're gonna put words into her mouth now.
Listen, Patrick, do you have a blue shirt on?
I do.
Now, how quickly could you have answered that otherwise? Not much quicker. You could have said yes. Or you could have said, well, I think it is blue. Yes, it is blue. And you could have elaborated. She was skirting.
No, because she knows it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
She knows that it doesn't exist, so she circumvented by and then you see that she stuttered quite a lot, and she
Big long happy
paused,
words.
and you could tell that she was delaying her response and stuttering. So, okay, we're at the last clip, Kevin. This is the last clip, and as far as I'm concerned, this is the most damaging clip of them all. So I'm just telling you.
I'll mute myself.
This I know what this is. This is the child, the teenage child, of one of the PAVE moms. This is an American young adult, or
I think he's over 18 now. Yeah.
Okay, so then he would be a young adult male American child. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's play this.
Thank you for having me. When I was in 9th grade, around 3 years ago, a speaker came to my high school under the guise of a mental health seminar. And that speaker turned out to be a representative for the Juul Corporation,
which is not true. This has been disproven. It was not an employee of Juul.
Was it a mental health thing at all?
I think they sent some sort of like counselor of something, but it was not a representative of Juul. So that has been already debunked. So that's a lie. We'll keep going.
The largest vaping conglomerates. And the speaker proceeded to send mixed messages about the safety of the devices, saying, quote, "It is the safest product on the market. It is, quote, 99% safer than combustible cigarettes, but we don't want you as customers."
Okay, so if this were a Juul representative, if it was true, and this was a Juul representative, and the guy said, "We don't want you buying our product."
Imagine
if that were true, what's wrong with that?
There's really no story.
Don't buy our product is what the kid is claiming.
Yeah.
That Juul said, and I'm not defending Juul because I hate Juul, but not for being Juul. I hate them for some of their choices that they made and how they handled stuff. But anyway, the product itself is beneficial. It helped. It has helped millions of people quit smoking.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go.
Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.
Okay. So that sentence alone, and the WHO broadcast this
across the world.
Somebody that they invited to their conference, their video, their whatever you want to call this, their presentation, basically saying everything that you're doing is not working because you don't understand kids.
You got owned by your own fucking guest. Good for you.
This kid is a PAVE. This is a PAVE kid. This is one of the PAVE moms.
Back it up. I think Liana wants to hear it again.
All right. We'll play it again.
Safer than combustible cigarettes, but we don't want you as customers.
I replayed that one, but okay, here we go. We don't want you as customers.
Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.
So if you tell kids don't drink,
they're going to drink.
They're going to drink. Don't have sex.
Oh yeah, they're going to have sex.
Okay.
That's my grandpa.
Don't smoke.
Oh, they're going to smoke.
And don't vape.
And all at the same time, you have to tell them that they have to be independent and they need to grow up and they need to act like an adult. But
so and he's reading this.
Yeah.
This is a prepared statement.
It looks like it.
Did they not say, "Hey, what are you going to say?"
Damn, Andrew.
Damn, I'd be in trouble, Andrew. Did they not say, "Hey, can you tell us what you're going to say before you say it so that we're prepared for you?" That
they're not paying his dumb ass. He just showed up for the bragging rights.
I'm just wondering. I mean, did they not at least say, "Hey, don't say anything that's going to make us look bad"? Because literally what he just said is everything that you guys do doesn't matter.
Well, that sheds light on some of the other stuff.
Kids are going to experiment. Kids are going to test boundaries. Kids are going to do things that they're told not to do, which is something that we've said on this show many times.
I was pure as the white driven snow all my life, so I didn't, but everybody else did.
I mean, come on, Kevin. We know that you started smoking when you're like 4. Come on.
All I know is if I could have given him $5 to say it, I'd have got my money's worth.
Actually, Tom is criticizing the kid for having some stubble. Now, when I was in high school, when I graduated high school, I can pull up my high school graduation pictures. I had a full goatee.
That's because you're 400 years old.
I wasn't then. I was 17 when I graduated. I'm very.
Must have been all that nicotine.
It could be, or the booze. Never mind.
Well, didn't your mother tell you not to drink and smoke?
Yes, but I did it anyway.
In fact, imagine.
Anyway, let's finish because this gets even better.
And unfortunately, my school was not an isolated incident, as these big tobacco 2.0 companies continue to prey on the vulnerable youth under the guise.
They're preying on the vulnerable youth by saying, "Don't buy our product." He just said that.
They're not going to break this down. Not like we are. Not on things like this.
As a result of the presentation, many of my peers began to question whether the products once seen as dangerous were even harmful at all, with some of my closest friends now believing their habits were justified due to a trusted adult telling them that it was safe. Thank you.
Caleb, did you ever take up smoking or try any e-cigarettes?
Here it comes.
As a result of that presentation, and that because of peer pressure perhaps from your own friends?
So I certainly, in my time in high school, with vaping being so prevalent, I cannot say that I've never used it. And I think that
the PAVE kid vaped.
There should be no shame associated with using any.
Don't shame me because I did it.
What?
There should be no shame.
Aaron's kid was vaping at 17, so I ain't worried about it.
This is him.
Well, that is Aaron's.
This is Aaron's kid.
These products because they're just so prevalent in high schools. But yeah, a lot of my peers use these products. I've experimented with these products, and yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And it's so interesting to see that, that they were sort of saying, we're not targeting you. We don't want you to be a customer. But ultimately, as you said, if you tell a teenager, don't do something, there's every incentive then to kind of go and do it as well.
You know what's interesting?
So she just basically let Jewel off the hook.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is that Jewel came and said, don't buy our products. We don't want you to buy our products. And if you tell a kid not to do something, they're going to do it. Yep. So it's not their fault because it's the kid's fault or the parents' fault. This is the paid shill. The World Health Organization paid this woman, and she just basically said it's not Jewel's fault because they told you not to buy it and you bought it anyway.
And you broke the law when you bought that. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes,
we don't care. We don't care about that. There's no shame.
So that's it. That's
what?
I said we were going to do this for 45 minutes and we're at an hour and a half. It took us a little bit longer because we did stop and talk and point out all the bullshit. So the paid host, just basically said, Jewel's not to blame because kids are going to be kids. That's what she just said. The kid said, don't blame kids. And, because if you tell a kid not to do something, they're going to do it.
And she reinforced that.
And she did reinforce that. And And then obviously we went through the entire strategy where they showed what their end game is to ban. Ends. Now, did you notice nowhere in there did it say ban smoking?
No, I don't think it did.
It never said anywhere in there, hey, we're going to ban cigarettes.
Ain't that neat?
And, that's the WHO. That's not in America where we know it's impossible because the government already entered into a legally binding agreement with the tobacco companies never to ban. And we already saw that the FDA said we don't have the authority to ban tobacco products of any kind. You saw that, right?
Yep. And
we talked about that last week.
The excerpts from this Who video have been brought to you in part by Bloomberg himself. So
yes.
So we appreciate
now
ads following.
I do apologize in advance that if some point in the next couple days this video has to be removed because WHO files some sort of claim on my account.
Don't we have fair use? Well, not from their side. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't imagine that the WHO can trademark or copyright their stuff.
I don't think they can, but
I'm just saying, just
they can kiss my ass.
And we overtalked all of their stuff, and this is a fair use because we are criticizing
and
satirizing.
We didn't even alter it. Except for the one part where she was being...
And I admitted, and I stopped it and admitted, I made a clip here because she was talking about the feedback on her headphones.
So in advance, they're already a couple times behind on kissing my ass. So I'm glad, because I'm just trying to keep track. Good. Very good.
Now, you have to be careful, because I did see that an anti-vapor got a threat of a lawsuit for saying something rude to somebody on Twitter.
Yeah, Clive was also threatened from who themselves for altering a graphic.
Okay, so I do want to digress for a moment.
Oh, good.
Because
I love that.
I want to go ahead and share this. Now, this is the actual treaty. This is the actual treaty, the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. This is the actual treaty.
Slap some Vaseline on it. 42
pages. I'm going to rub it a little bit so that you guys can see it. This is from the WHO in Geneva, Switzerland. This is the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control.
Yeah.
Now, I think I can do this. Let's do an Apple or Control F. I'm not on an Apple. And I'm going to with the words harm reduction. And right there. See how it came up so quickly, Kevin?
Yep. Now look up tax.
Wait. This is Article 1.
Yeah.
This is Article 1 of the introduction, and this is for the purposes of this convention. Now let's scroll down here to D, where they are defining tobacco control.
Yeah.
And it says tobacco control means a range of supply, demand, and harm reduction strategies that aim to improve the health of a population by eliminating or reducing their consumption of tobacco products and exposure to tobacco smoke.
Nowhere else in this paper does it say harm reduction. To my knowledge.
I have to do another Control F.
But this is 1D.
Yes, that is 1D.
In the first article.
I misspelled reduction. Give me 1 second here.
Okay. It could be in more, but I don't think that I never searched it the way you're doing. I just read through it.
Well, I'm trying to do this quickly. That is the one and only reference to harm reduction in the entire treaty.
Okay, now do tax.
Or
revenue.
See, tax. There are 10 references to tax. 10. 10, Kevin. You know, you have like an old man laugh. Did you ever notice that before?
I do have an old.
You do have an old man laugh.
How come? How come there's 10?
Because that's their priority.
So
it's a priority for them.
You're telling me, no shit, that harm reduction is just
it's one of
the kind of important to mention because they're going to look at this, and then tax is like tenfold important to reducing harm.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Because they're worried and deeply concerned, in fact, about the high levels of smoking. It just said it right there.
I know they said. I'm a little further down. A little further down.
What?
So, I did notice the word illicit.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm pretty good here. So, this is on page 8 of 42.
Yeah.
It says recognizing that cooperative action is necessary to eliminate all forms of illicit trade of cigarettes and other tobacco products, including smuggling, illicit manufacturing, and counterfeiting.
That's because
now,
they're
why
worried
would
about
they
their
care?
tax.
Why would they care, Kevin? Let me finish the sentence, man. Why would they care? Why would they care about this? Because again, they care about smuggling, illicit manufacturing, and counterfeiting because they don't get no money from that.
Cha-ching.
You need a sound effect with actual coins.
How do they get funded, Patrick?
From what? How does who get funded?
How does who get funded?
How does who get funded? Who gets funded because governments, like our government, until when Trump was president, and God forbid that he ever gets elected again. But when Trump was president, the one actual thing that he did that was worth a damn was he defunded the WHO, or at least the American funding of the WHO, which was about $700 million. But as soon as he said, I'm not going to give them $700 million, Michael Bloomberg went on TV and said, I'll give them $700 million.
So if I'm going to give them money.
I'm pretty sure, Kevin, that like 70% of the WHO funding comes from American tax money and American business donations.
So
I do remember seeing that number somewhere.
In your opinion, then, money will influence policy.
That's not in my opinion. That is a fact.
Okay. I'm just checking. Huh.
So, yeah, that is not an opinion. That is a fact.
Thank you, Mr.
That corporate money will indeed change directions of government agencies or the WHO, for example.
Do cessation.
Cessation? You want me? Are we just gonna?
I want to entertain myself.
Dude, we have like another 40 things to talk about tonight.
I know. And
I can't even spell.
How? This is 2003.
So number 4. Let's see. Yeah. There are 10 references to cessation.
Okay. So we got taxes and we got cessation. What does cessation involve?
Well, this is obviously the very first one is just talking about general terms. Let's go to the next one. Demand reduction measures concerning tobacco dependence and cessation. That's Article 14. Let's see. So these are, what are these? Let's see. This is from the forward. So this is the core demand reduction provisions in the WHO FCTC are contained in Articles 6 through 14. So number 1 is price and tax measures to reduce demand for tobacco. Number 2 is non-price measures to reduce demand for tobacco, protection from exposure. So these are their justifications. Protection from exposure to tobacco smoke, regulation of the contents of tobacco products, which nobody can actually get a list of what's in there, right? Regulation of tobacco product disclosures, packaging and labeling of tobacco products, education, communication, training, and public awareness which apparently they don't care about because they don't fund that much of that. Tobacco advertising, promotion, sponsorship, and demand reduction measures concerning tobacco dependence and cessation, which is very generic.
The fact or process of ending or being brought to an end is cessation. It doesn't mean you have quit. It means you're going to try.
And you're in the process. You are ceasing.
So if you're in the process and you're going to buy the patch, the gum, the whatever, and it works, that's great for you. It's 7%.
Good
success.
for you.
Good luck. But they are a tool. If you double your nicotine, it probably will work.
You know what else is a tool, or who else is a tool?
Who? What?
Mike Bloomberg. He's a tool.
Well.
So,
in fact, I thought I saw a picture of him the other day, but I couldn't see.
Okay, so we know that harm reduction is at least mentioned once.
Yes.
And it is one of the articles of the FCTC, right? It's there.
First article.
It's in the. It's number D in the first article, right?
It seems important to be at the top.
It's pretty close to the top.
Also skimmed over and ignored, right?
All right. So now, I found something that I thought was pretty good to share, and this is from 2006, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware, this is from 2006.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's throw this up on the screen. So this is from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the National Institutes of Health, and it's from October of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a public health report. It says the fourth pillar of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, harm reduction. That's D article. That's Article 1D, the fourth pillar, harm reduction, and the international human right to health.
What? Well, they're human rights, pro-human rights. Yes.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Okay. And apparently, harm reduction, and specifically tobacco harm reduction, is an international human right to health. So it says here, the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, while successful in its execution, fails to acknowledge the harm reduction strategies necessary to help those incapable of breaking their dependence on tobacco, based on the human right to health embodied in Article 12 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. This article contends that international law supports a harm reduction approach to tobacco control.
Hello, Mr. Magiro.
Welcome back, sir.
It's starting to stun me a little. This is from 2006, folks.
This is from 2006.
I've been bitching about it for 5 years, but this is 2006.
Yes. So the authors of this piece, this is Benjamin Mason Meyer and Donna Shelley.
Get them on the show.
Master of Public Health, medical doctor. This is a Juris Doctorate, so he is a law doctor.
Okay.
Basically saying that according to Article 12 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, that the right to tobacco harm reduction is an important part of the WHO's responsibilities.
Now, highlight, I'm going to stop. Up, stop right there. Harm reduction can involve the use of novel, purportedly less hazardous tobacco products. Now, what this is talking about, for those of you who may not know, is snus, it's patches, it's gums, it's whatever it is. The pouches that my son got for free the other day, whatever it is, those are less harmful tobacco products. Dip, Skoal, all the things that Dr. Brad Rodew has been talking about for fucking 25 years.
Any other tobacco product, Kevin?
And this tobacco product definition was not a vaping product because they didn't exist.
No.
Well, 06.
By disassociating nicotine from the ancillary carbon monoxide and myriad carcinogens of smoking, these tobacco harm reduction products may allow the individual smoker to retain addictive behaviors while limiting their concomitant harms.
Funny, they didn't say chemically addictive. They said what?
Well, retain addictive behaviors.
Right.
So they didn't say that there was no chemical component.
Right.
They're saying that these addictive behaviors actually are part of the addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And we've discussed the different rituals and things that we do that are part of our own new version of what we did when we were smokers.
Yep.
I mentioned before when I would take the plastic off of a pack of cigarettes and open that and pull that foil out and smell the cigarette. And I had a roommate that would violently pack his cigarettes. Like, those were his behaviors. Everybody had slightly different variations. So this is from, again, 2006. And they're discussing the WHO's failure at that point to adopt or embrace or promote tobacco harm reduction, even though tobacco harm reduction is the fourth pillar of their house of cards.
And follow Joseph on Twitter.
Please follow Joseph on Twitter.
Please. Everybody that's on Twitter needs to follow it.
So this is actually no, it's not in the show notes. Let's copy and paste this and throw this in the chat room because everybody needs to read this, because this is something. Here we are in 2021, and this is from 2006, and the WHO has continued to fail at embracing their own founding document. Article 1D of their document, the actual treaty that they agreed to, that they wrote and got everybody to sign, and they're not even following it. They're not even
they
trying
read it,
to.
and then they snickered. Yeah, we got this in here because people will read it, but we don't really believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm going to sit here and read the whole thing. It's pretty long. I mean, it's pretty long.
You can hit the bottom if you want, but it's go to that, and it was so stunning that I prefaced it on Twitter.
Yes.
and then I was smacked around.
I was like, damn it, man. I didn't send this for you to tweet. Now you can tweet it, Kevin. Now you can tweet it, because
I'll retweet myself.
We have debuted it on the show now. Like, this is something from 2006 that people have probably, I'm sure smart people like Christopher Snowden and Clive Bates and those guys, they probably read this already and they remember it. But
it was on Twitter.
Don't.
It was already on Twitter because I looked up the article itself, and there were some tweets of it, but I missed that whole thing. I don't know how I missed it. Pisses me off. I never even thought to look it up that way. How did you find it?
It is before you.
Yeah.
How did I find it? I was looking for WHO FTCC, and I did the words harm reduction.
You sneaky, sly little dog. You. Yeah, if you tell me not to do something, I'm probably going to do it.
Your Google foo sucks.
Well, but my Twitter foo doesn't.
Your Google foo sucks, man.
Oh my God!
Like you're like wasted. You're. It saddens me that you are not very good at Twitter.
No, man. Google or Twitter?
So,
which one?
Either one. You're not very good at either one.
I don't know where you're going, but I'm ready.
You're ready? Are you ready, Kevin?
I'm ready.
I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to get to the very top of our show notes to see what.
All right.
What's worth reading here, and there are some things that I advertised that we actually have to cover those.
Yeah.
So let's see. So here we go. So there was. I didn't advertise that. This is the one about the kid sexually assaulting somebody with his vaping pen. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm skipping that one. I'm skipping it.
That's fine.
Let's rub this. Rub. So Hey, Kevin.
What? I don't even freaking like you. What do you want?
Did you know that if you're a good parent and you do your job and you teach your kid right, that is very important at keeping them away from vaping? Did you know that?
No, it's not, but all right.
It is. So it says here, goal setting and positive parent-child relationships reduce risk of youth vaping.
Bigger. So parenting is an action verb. I've heard that
you
somewhere.
You just said that it's not. You just said it's not.
Well, parenting is an action verb. The actual actions that the child takes from that point is his decision or her decision.
Yes. So a recent study shows how strong parental support can contribute to lowering the risk of e-cigarette use and tobacco use amongst adolescents.
Can you imagine?
Now, who knew that if you were a parent and you did your job and you actually were successful at teaching your children the difference between right and wrong and all that stuff, that they would actually behave better?
So you're saying base core values, and they still will make their own decisions, but the chances are higher, allegedly, that they will make the right decisions in your mind from what you've given them to work with.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, apparently.
Because there's a whole slew of Karens that don't believe you.
So science says, but it says here, adolescents who set goals for their future and those with strong parental support are less likely to use e-cigarettes and other tobacco products, according to the study, or a study by UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh and the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine physician-scientists. The findings of the study were published in the Journal of Pediatrics. The research suggested that strategies to prevent youth vaping may be different from what works to dissuade youth from smoking cigarettes. The use of e-cigarettes by young people is at an epidemic proportion, with 27% of youth surveyed saying that they'd vaped in the last 30 days, said author Nicholas Zoko, MD, a fellow in the Division of Adolescent and Young Adult Medicine at UPMC Children's.
I call bullshit.
I do call bullshit on that number, but anyway.
I'm going to call bullshit on this. I have two children who watch two parents smoke all their life.
Well, but you were not a positive. Smoke. You were not a positive role model then.
That may be true. We need more studies for that to be shown. And Skip asked a great question. Her brother never smoked. Does that mean that her mom was a good parent half the time?
Yes.
Because I'm making sure.
According to this scientist, no.
Studies show.
Obviously, and we've covered this already.
No.
Skip, are you not neurodiverse? I seem to remember that you are. So you're a bad example.
So was I a bad influence?
You're not the average child. What'd you say?
I said, was I a bad influence on my children then?
Well, one of your children is neurodiverse. I don't know about the other one.
Quite possibly. Not diagnosed.
So
one is.
So, I know that one is.
So you're telling me that parents can influence actions of their children. But what did that kid say? He's going to do it anyway.
Well, he's neurodiverse as well. That's my new thing.
Okay.
No, I mean obviously experimentation is going to happen.
Yes,
it's part of being a child.
I did experimentation. Never with a tic-tac.
Some people are long-term experimenters, like 30, 40-year experimenters. No, but yes, children, you tell me I'm not going to do something. I can't do something. Don't dare do something. I'm going to do something.
I'm like that now. Tell me I can't and I will. Tell me if I will.
Somebody told me I couldn't design T-shirts. I designed T-shirts.
Uh-oh, her computer froze.
Yes,
Mallory. Yes, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. I don't like grown-ups. specifically Patrick.
Well, I'm not a grown-up though, Kevin.
All I know is I was just going to say what Paul just said. Who doesn't like to experiment on occasion with anything?
Well, there's certain type of experimentation that I won't do, Kevin.
Have you experimented with your e-liquids?
Of course.
I rest my case. Have you experimented with cooking?
Hey, Kevin,
I rest my case. What?
Speaking of t-shirts, we sold some t-shirts tonight during the show because I have a t-shirt on. So Teespring says you have to buy your own shirt.
Yeah.
So that you can wear your shirt and sell your shirt.
That's what they tell you?
That's one of the things that when you put up a design, it says, well, now you want to buy a sample of your shirt so that you can wear it and promote your shirt.
Okay.
And it's true.
Fair enough, because you did.
I did. We are halfway to a monitor now.
Damn.
Halfway, kids. Kevin will get a monitor as soon as that number hits the right number.
And by the way,
and I haven't touched this money. The money is in there.
Chris,
I will be totally transparent.
Chris Big Knowledge confirmed with me on Troop's tweet this afternoon that brownies are give or take chocolate.
That is true. That is true.
From now on, brownies are also chocolate.
No, it won't
chocolate
be a touchdown.
family. Chocolate family.
It is more or less chocolate.
The chocolate fam. Chocolate fam. That's the hashtag. Crap. What?
Nick placed a fairly large order.
Ooh.
Thank you, Nick.
Humana.
Now, while I'm here.
While you're there.
While I'm here.
Yeah.
I need viewer opinions.
Oh.
I need viewer opinions. I have to open the store. Not to the like the back end of the store, but okay. So let's share the screen. So this is the actual store. These are the products on the store. So we have this is the premium tea of the Son of Liberty. This is the girly tea of the Son of Liberty. This is the same premium tea. I don't know why I did that. There's the Son of Liberty coffee cup.
Swag.
Okay, these are the nicotine enhanced coffee mug. There's the different ones. There's Kevin's shirt.
Ugly mug.
Now, I did this because I did this for myself, boys and girls. I wanted this. So
what is this beanie? What is this beanie hat bullshit that's targeted at me?
I don't have any beanie hats.
Whatever that thing is you're wearing.
No. This is not called a beanie hat, you dumbass.
Well, I'll take the dumbass part, but what is it?
So this
scallywag.
This is called a pub cap.
Well, how come they keep telling? I got sponsored in the right corner of my fucking screen. I don't like that.
Because it's on Facebook. Oh, it's on like everybody's Facebook.
Stop it.
It's like a very common ad. So I did this. I did a plaid shirt, right? Because I had a plaid shirt on. You guys made fun of my plaid shirt, so I did a plaid shirt. And it has the Son of Liberty logo on one arm and the vaping scallywag on the other. Okay. Right? So there's a red one and a blue one. Now, I actually sent the link to this to Dimitri, and he said he would not be caught dead wearing plaid even if Big Tobacco paid him. And I said, plaid.
He's
plaid
smarter
is in style, sir. Plaid
he's smarter than you are.
So, just saying. Now, I don't have to sell a single one of these shirts.
Yeah.
But I did sell one to myself.
That's awfully nice of you.
Yes, I bought one of each for myself.
A blind person would love to see it.
Well, again, it's Pippa. Just saying, kids.
Sure.
The Son of Liberty Radio shirt is shirts that includes the Son of Liberty Radio shirt, the nicotine enhanced shirt, which is this one.
It's swag. That's all it
and
is.
the Son of Liberty Scallywag plaid.
There's your link.
And coffee cups.
I like coffee. But
if we have enough money left over from the store to buy your monitor, I will also send you a coffee cup, Kevin.
All right, fine. So,
what's I forgot one.
Go back.
It's at the bottom. It's at the bottom of the store. This is the Vaping Scallywag.
I said
shirt.
that. Scallywag. Well,
I'm not sending them. When you order them, it usually takes 2 to 3 days.
Kind of an on demand. All right.
Yes. No, I am not taking I'm not shipping these from my house. They're being shipped from Teespring. I did roll my eyes at Pippa. Now she's mad at me.
I rolled my eyes at the Who.
We did. I might make a derivative Who shirt. That might be the next design. I'm just saying. I've got the T-shirt bug now.
I didn't hear harm reduction.
And we still. Oh, and by the way, if we sell enough shirts to buy Kevin a second monitor and a coffee cup, and we have more money, we're going to buy Charlie a microphone.
A microphone. Oh, yeah, a real microphone.
Now,
because we love Charlie.
While we're on the topic of swag, of things that people can buy and help us out, last week during the show, Andrew, who was here earlier, I don't know if he's still here. He owns a company called Vape Bands, and they make things like this that we showed last week on the show. This is the Plume Room Vape Band bracelet that you wear on your bracelet, or you can put it on your mod as a mod protector. But they also make vape bands for your tanks to protect your glass. But I said last week on the show, hey, Owl, can you make me one of these? Can you make us a Son of Liberty Radio vape bracelet thing? Big thing like this. So in our conversations, we came up with something. So this is the prototype of the Son of Liberty Radio Hoist the Black Flag Vape Scallywag Vape Band brand wristband. I have no details on this other than that's what it will look like. So future, that will be something that you guys can look forward to. I think it looks pretty damn cool, is what I'm saying. And it may or may not glow in the dark.
And if you're at the corner of vape and device, you'll know that you're in friendly territory because the person will be wearing that.
So that is also a possible way for Kevin to get a monitor, and for Dr. Charles Gardner, to get a microphone. Just saying. So those are our first two efforts at fundraising, and those are the items with which we will attempt to do that. I just thought that was cool. Not to go back to what we were talking about. You want to pinch that for my Twitter header? You can't pinch stuff. Skip is not allowed to have a nap.
Thunder down under.
Period.
Take
Exclamation point. No nap for Skippy.
Take it, Bruni, and take it, Skip.
So the other thing this is kind of disappointing to me, kids. I did what day was this? Monday. Yep. Monday, I did a news search on the Googles. I did my Google foo, Kevin.
Oh.
And I want to note that this is part of the WHO effort to make us look bad.
Yeah.
If the picture will stay open on my screen long enough for me to show it, I will show it. This is disappointing and sad for me because I did my search, and literally, this is the top 6 search results. TikTok's troubling health bomb.
Yeah.
TikTok vaping videos. Vaping on TikTok. Does TikTok push vaping? TikTok. That's like a thing, right? TikTok is like a social media thing.
Yeah.
It's like a video thing for kids.
Twitter for video, yeah, pretty much.
And it's mostly kids?
Assuming, yeah.
Yeah. So, the push for that kind of content, this is part of that social media blitz that the WHO and Bloomberg are pushing right now. It doesn't have to say WHO says or Bloomberg says for it to be a paid piece.
No, propaganda is propaganda. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it is. Propaganda is propaganda. So,
footnote to last week's show. Actually, I think it might have been 2 weeks ago. The visual of cutting a device.
Oh yes.
Tweet.
Yes.
Down. Gone. They took.
Oh, they pulled that shit. They pulled it like the next day or 2 days later.
Fucking right, they did. And thank you to those who saw it and did mention it and made noise and fucking was louder about it because they're idiots.
That was like Missouri, right? That was AJ Mall.
I think
that was his backyard. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I did want to reiterate because this was on the day, July 27. This is the day that the WHO thing.
You got the Twitter bugs, don't you?
So I said, I'm willing to. This is Michael Bloomberg. He's promoting a lie.
He's promoting less harmful.
And he's also he's promoting vaping to children. But I said, hey, I'm willing to have you on as a guest on my live stream /podcast anytime. Yep. To have a discussion with you, Bloomberg, to discuss your thoughts on vaping. And I said, I bet I can even get a neuroscientist, a public health doctor, and a harm reduction expert to join us anytime.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't reply.
Huh. I'll be darned.
He did not reply. I make the effort. I go through all this trouble to try to welcome him and give him a place to be a part of the conversation.
Aside from your normal trouble, you went to the trouble.
I went to the trouble of doing all of that for him, and he just ignores us, man. He ignores us.
Vaping with TikTok. Sometimes I love the audience more than you. What?
Where did I put that? Speaking of, so this week I did find a really good picture of our friend, the vaping Tic Tac.
Yes.
Paul. I did find a very good picture of him. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because he did get a haircut, and he said he did it himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we don't talk about him enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go, Paul? Did you delete my picture of you, Paul?
No.
Híjole. It's way up here. I just sent it earlier today, and it's already buried in here, Kevin.
Mamma mia.
There's like too many people yapping in this group. Here I found it. So I did. This is the portrait of Paul that I found on the internet this week.
Mm-hmm.
With his homemade haircut.
I like it.
But anyway, back to the Wiley Online Journal. This is a piece about the dependence on nicotine in U.S. high school students in the context of patterns of tobacco product use.
What?
Yeah, I believe you put this in there.
No.
Pretty sure.
Just keep on. Just go down to the, yep.
Well, at least we'd tell everybody what the background of the thing is. There has been substantial recent changes in youth tobacco use in the United States, including notably a rapid increase in the use of electronic cigarettes. It is not known whether and if so far, how far these changes are reflected at levels of nicotine dependence. So they're saying more kids are vaping, but we're not sure if that's actually causing them to be dependent on nicotine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is what that thing is saying.
Yeah.
So this study used data from a large nationally representative sample of U.S. adolescents to, 1, estimate the annual prevalence of nicotine dependence in relation to current use of tobacco products, 2, describe trends in dependence over time, and 3, evaluate whether the increase in youth use of tobacco products has been paralleled by a similar increase in the population burden of nicotine dependence. So what they're saying is A, more kids might be vaping, but are they actually addicted to vaping or to nicotine? And the conclusion was, among U.S. high school students, increases in the prevalence of nicotine product use from 2012 to 2019 do not appear to have been accompanied by a similar increase in the population burden of nicotine dependence. So there's, yes, more kids might be using nicotine, but that is not, there is no, what's the word I'm looking for? Concurrent increase in nicotine dependence in that same population. So they're saying, hey, nicotine, there's more kids using nicotine, but they're not becoming addicted to it.
So they don't really know for sure, but then they know.
According to this.
That's interesting.
And it says this may be at least partly attributed to a shift in the most common product of choice from cigarettes, on which users are most dependent, to e-cigarettes, on which users are least dependent.
Imagine that. So
it's in the show notes, Skip, but I'll put it here. It's in the show notes.
Refresh my memory on who I don't even know what to call the show. What exactly was it that they were concerned about?
Who's
on first? What they said was they're concerned about nicotine addiction in new products. And this says they probably shouldn't be.
What they're saying is that you should be afraid of smoking, nicotine addiction from smoking. But that e-cigarettes are less addictive than combustible cigarettes. That's what that is saying. So I'm going to scroll down here because I want to see who paid for this.
Somebody.
Okay, I'm going to throw this back on the screen. This is going to surprise you.
I'm going to see.
So it says here, JB has received unrestricted research funding from Pfizer.
Exactly.
Who manufactures smoking cessation medications. All authors declare no financial links with tobacco companies or e-cigarette manufacturers or their representatives. So shockingly, this is one of the authors, JB, that is named up here as Jamie Brown, excuse me, has admitted that she has unrestricted funding from Pfizer.
So
do not produce any vaping products and do actually produce a competing product. And what they're saying, so this is a perfect example of, we talked about this,
research.
Where it doesn't really matter who pays for the research. Correct. If the research is good and the science is done properly, that it doesn't matter who paid for it, because the results will speak for themselves.
So you took literally almost every word out of my mouth after you put that thing away, and then you said, I'm going to see who paid for it, because what I want everybody's goal to be this week is every time you see the words children, youth, young adults, and the words nicotine addiction, I want you to post that link. And then I want to see what the experts say about their funding, because that was a very popular thing a couple of years ago, is the funding. And it still is. It still is. It's less prevalent, but it's still there.
Yeah. So hey,
interesting.
Kevin,
what?
You know, one of the things I like to do is point out when we said something was going to happen and then it fucking happens.
What?
You know, I really like that. So one of the things that we've talked about multiple times on this show, but specifically when Trump was president and Mitt Romney was sitting beside him in that meeting in DC, and pretty soon after that, President Trump said, hey, I want to make these e-cigarette companies pay tobacco user fees. Remember we talked about that?
Yep.
And remember I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, and we said how bad it would be for vaping companies if they had to pay tobacco user fees. Guess what?
What?
Guess what? I'm loading it, so I'm stalling until it shows up. Okay. Senator Mitt Romney has introduced a bicameral piece of legislation. So bicameral means that it is being introduced at the same time in both chambers of the House and the Senate. By multiple people. So he says e-cigarettes should be subject to the same user fees as traditional forms of tobacco. By authorizing U.S. FDA to collect user fees on e-cigarettes, our bill will help tackle the vaping crisis and protect the lives of children in Utah, because he's from, he is the senator. He was the governor of Massachusetts, but now he's the senator of Utah.
Yeah, well.
And across the country. So let's open this, because this is a direct link to his press release on his website. Let me rub it just a hair. Let's rub it so that it is a slightly bigger to read, because I'm old and my vision is poor. So it says here, Romney / colleagues introduce bill to hold e-cigarette companies accountable for the youth vaping crisis.
Absolutely.
Senators Mitt Romney from Utah, Jeanne, is that? Yeah, that's Jeanne Shaheen.
Can't read it.
Lisa Murkowski, Dick Durbin, Susan Collins, and Tammy Baldwin introduced bipartisan bicameral legislation to protect children from the dangers of e-cigarettes. And the name of the bill is the Resources to Prevent Youth Vaping Act. And there's not like a really cool, like, like the PACT Act, or there's no good abbreviation for this, would require that the e-cigarette manufacturers pay user fees to the FDA to help fund more activity at the FDA to conduct stronger oversight of the e-cigarette industry and increase awareness for the danger of e-cigarettes. Companion legislation will be introduced in the House of Representatives by Cherry Bustos and Brian Fitzpatrick, Illinois and Pennsylvania.
So Patrick,
yes.
Since it's defined a tobacco product, what would any tobacco fall under in order to enforce youth use or purchase, rather, not use?
Huh?
Sign our amendment, but it doesn't matter because nobody cares.
The sign-on amendment doesn't really have anything to do with who's paying for the enforcement or how the enforcement is conducted. It is just an amendment to the act, which basically says if you don't enforce at this level, then we're not going to give you as much money. But then they went around and amended the amendment and changed that number and changed the wording, so it doesn't really matter anyway, Kevin.
No.
It's literally meaningless.
And the amendment
to the amendment made the original amendment worthless, which was already worthless because nobody ever paid attention to it anyway.
Well, I'm glad that was amended. and 21 is the law.
Yes, 21 is the law.
Last I checked. All right.
Yes.
All right.
So I did, however, wait a minute. Let me remove this. Let me go back to my Twitter because I'm smart and I tweeted something in response to this that was really awesome and smart. And
you got the Twitter bugs this week, didn't you?
I like to pat myself on the back. Let's see. Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, they will do something.
No.
Hey, Mike Bloomberg, come on my show. T-shirts. 22nd century bullshit. What do you mean? The FDA already had authority to produce?
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But wait, there's more, Kevin.
Oh.
But wait, there's more. It wasn't a tweet. It was a response to a tweet. Now I have to go over here and hit the replies button because it's not showing up.
Don't hurt yourself.
I know, right? I thought I had already like tagged myself in it so that I could find shit. You know, I'm old and my memory sucks.
Well, you're old. Your memory's pretty good.
I'm not nearly as old as you, but you know, I'm still old.
You fuck. I'm going to be roasting an uncle. What?
Kevin, calm yourself, my friend. Calm.
Well, they need drink words on occasion during the intermissions. So I'm going to go to Maine.
16,000 flavors, Kevin.
16,000. I thought it was like 72,000 last I counted.
The 16,000 flavors are marketed to kids. We're going to talk about that too. And you know what's really funny? Oh, here, I found it. I was replying to Dick Blumenthal.
Big Dick.
Yeah, so Dick is July 20th. He's like, hey, Juul is using every tool in Big Tobacco's playbook to hook a generation, blah, blah, blah. The FDA should expeditiously take action to remove these addictive youth-focused devices from store shelves. This is an editorial. And I said, hey, didn't Congress already make it illegal for people under age 21 to buy vape products? If laws you already passed aren't being enforced well, what makes you think a new law will work, Dick? How about enforcing existing laws better? I'm like, hey,
you can't.
Can I not point out the stupidity of their bullshit?
You can rub Dick on the top of his head all you want to.
I don't want to rub Dick at all, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Why do you? Between you and Hamish this week with your gutter tweets.
His name is Dick. Can't help it.
Just saying. Oh. All right. Since I'm already here on Twitter, Kevin. Yeah. So the WHO posted a very live-filled tweet.
Yes, it did.
And it said the aerosols from e-cigarettes contain toxic substances that can cause cancer, cardiovascular disease, lung disorders, and damage to children's brain development.
Right.
# commit to quit e-cigarettes now for a healthier life. Here's how, and they have a bit.ly thing. There's a little picture of a vaping device that's in a mouse trap, and they're trying to lure you into, getting your fingers hurt. So I did over tweet them because I wanted to correct their tweet.
Good.
So I quote tweeted them, Kevin. I quote tweeted them, and I actually cut and pasted their graphics so that it looked pretty nice. So I said, millions of ex-smokers credit vaping as the solution to the tobacco problem. At WHO makes baseless claims about e-cigarettes. The cancer claim, that's a lie.
Yep.
That's an outright lie. Cardiovascular disease, that's also a lie. Lung disorders, a lie. Damage to children's brain development. In rats, commit to quit to listening to the WHO. So,
well,
I'm just saying, Kev.
There were a few over tweets or quote tweets of that, but I don't understand. I guess I do understand because I'm going to say nicotine is addictive is a term, phrase, catch-all that's been used for decades, and I believed it myself because it's repetitive. It repeats itself. It's not going away. And everybody says, well, I've heard that. So now they're doing what they're doing because it's gaslighting the country here with Dick and the other doofuses.
All right. Wait.
And everybody else across the world.
1 second. So I'm scrolling through my Twitter thing, my Twitter profile thing. So I retweeted this. And this is a piece by our very good friend that has never spoken to us, but we still call him friend, Christopher Snowden.
Yep.
That it was published in The Spectator.
Yes.
This is an amazing piece of journalism. This is an amazing piece that every one of you motherfuckers that are listening to this show and watching this show, there's still like 30 of y'all in here between all the different places.
Nice.
Need to be fucking retweeting this shit right now.
Yeah.
And 15 people have retweeted it.
That one, not his blog. You want that one. The Spectator is bigger than his blog. Yeah.
Way better. Way bigger.
Way bigger. Way better.
Bigger distribution.
On purpose, no matter what.
On purpose, specifically because we want the Spectator to let him write more pieces.
Yes, we do.
So this is entitled "The WHO's Bizarre War on E-Cigarettes," and this is a piece from the magazine, actual magazine. I have 5 free articles. Okay.
All right.
So, we're just going to read the first paragraph. The WHO's Bizarre War on E-Cigarettes, and there's a picture of the world trying to break the habit, and then it says here, when COP26, which is the climate change conference, hits Glasgow in the end of October, the media will be out in force to discover how world leaders are going to meet their ambitious carbon emission targets. It will be on the front pages. Edited highlights will be on TV. Boris Johnson and Nicholas Sturgeon will be elbowing each other out of the way to get in the limelight. Extinction Rebellion will be performing their doomsday japes outside. But when COP9 begins in November, few will notice. Nobody will notice because, admittedly, this event is being held online this year, but it would have flown under the radar even if it had been held at The Hague as planned. It always does. Like COP26, it's a United Nations conference, but that's where the similarities end.
Yep.
You probably haven't even heard of it. Its full name is the World Health Organization's Framework Convention on Tobacco Control's 9th Conference of the Parties. The Framework Convention on Tobacco Control is the first and only international treaty of the WHO and COP, and it's where it develops consensus statements and forges the path ahead. For the WHO, the path leads not just to tobacco-free future, but a nicotine-free future. This is not hyperbole. WHO Europe said it explicitly last year, and it has become a big problem for millions of vapers worldwide. Around 3.6 million people in Britain vape. Most of them used to be cigarette smokers and no longer smoke tobacco at all. Public Health England and the Royal College of Physicians have both stated that the risks of vaping are at least 95% lower than those of smoking. The U.S. National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine concluded, after a thorough review of the evidence, that e-cigarettes are likely to be far less harmful than combustible cigarettes. The influential anti-smoking pressure group Action on Smoking and Health is supportive of vaping and says that e-cigarettes have proved to be an important gateway out of smoking, not into it. The WHO, however, has been steadfastly opposed to e-cigarettes since they became popular a decade ago, and the FCTC treaty explicitly defines tobacco control, and this is 1D, as a range of supply, demand, and harm reduction strategies to reduce tobacco consumption, but has never endorsed harm reduction in practice. At COP7 in India 5 years ago, it called on member states to prohibit or restrict the manufacture, importation, distribution, presentation, sale, and use of e-cigarettes. Ideally, the WHO wants prohibition, but it will settle for excessive regulation to deter smokers from switching if a total ban is not politically feasible.
Now, ASH, A-S-H, Action on Smoking and Health.
Yes.
UK supports, not United States.
No. And the other thing is the the cop that was in India 5 years ago, that's the one we were talking about, where David was supposed to go with Aaron and they were going to do stuff. They actually canceled David's travel documents, and he got like halfway there and had to stay a few days and then come home
because of an ID.
He never got into India to do the things that he was supposed to do. And any media, so I mentioned it a while ago, and Joseph was in the chat room. He probably gone by now, but Joseph, because it was like 6 a.m. for Joseph, he's in Africa. It's almost impossible to find out who your delegate is for your country. It's so secretive. They don't even want you to know who is there representing you. And if they find out that one of the people that is in attendance is media, they are physically removed from the venue.
A Canadian was, yeah.
Yeah, that was the Rebel HQ.
Yep.
5 years ago.
Yep.
So there's no video, no pictures, no recording, no media.
Nothing.
Nobody. They don't want anybody to know what they're talking about in there.
They're making decisions for you, for your life, for your goodness.
No taxation without representation.
Yeah.
And so
indirectly, we're paying for that.
Yeah, and I digressed, but go read the. I mean, I read a good bit of it, but go read Christopher's piece on The Spectator. Retweet it.
Yep.
And the old lady didn't take her Geritol again. She's passing out. Kevin, say goodnight.
She's going to still listen. We'll lullaby her to sleep.
No, she said she's going to bed, but listen still. I might not make it to the end. Good night. Hugs and kisses. Isn't that what XOXO means?
Yep.
Yeah. Where's my show notes? Because I want to make sure that I at least covered the things that I said I would cover, Kevin. I would feel awful if I forgot something. We talked about Romney. We talked about the dependence thing. What else? Come on, slow computer.
I'm going to make this easy for everybody to retweet that when I see it.
Oh.
Where'd it go?
Do you actually think Gizmodo is a reputable news source, Kevin?
No.
Gizmodo?
No.
So during the Google Food this week, I actually Google Food an article that says that a woman that was hospitalized, diagnosed, and treated for COVID-19 was actually suffering from vaping injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, because,
Everybody flip Patrick the Bird because Skip asked you to. So it says here, a woman hospitalized with COVID-19 was actually suffering from a vaping injury. Though cases of EVALI have been less common since 2019, the vaping-linked lung illness is still around.
Bullshit.
A 32-year-old woman, the COVID-19 pandemic was a red herring for lung problems so serious they landed her in the hospital twice over 3 months. In a recent case report, doctors detail how the woman, originally suspected of having COVID-19, actually turned out to have EVALI, a rare condition linked to the use of tainted vaping devices.
No.
Following the correct diagnosis and proper treatment, the woman's health recovered.
It's a miracle.
Oh yeah.
So I said a while.
Kevin.
I said a while back that there is a possibility that some of those cards are still laying around.
Oh, definitely.
It's completely logical to think that way, but they will become extremely rare because people know. People talk.
What do they know? What do they know, Kevin?
They know that if they're doing the THC thing, that's a possibility.
Ah.
And we talked about this, that you can tell by looking if you guys are THC users, and I am assuming some of you may be, and that's okay. I don't care. You just You just look at it and it separates. And I was told that by a 20-year-old. I didn't know.
Stay away from the devil's lettuce.
It's a devil's lettuce. Jesus, you are old. The devil's lettuce.
The devil's
lettuce. My God. All I know is they knew about it and they lied. And people were dead.
Dead?
It's still possible. So, yeah, know your source. Completely.
Dead, Kevin. Dead.
Well, I'm glad we covered that WHO thing because, boy, I was concerned for a while.
Who?
Who? What are you, an owl? You pissed through tail feathers? What's wrong with you? Devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce. Stay away from the devil's lettuce.
Just
the wacky
can't.
Tobacco.
I threw the Spectator's link on there, the tweet.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that.
That way we
let's
know.
See. You know what's really cool though, Guy? What's your name, Kevin?
Bob.
What's really cool, Guy, Kevin, is when an awesome person like Ethan Nadelman steps up to the bat and knocks it out of the park. Not to flog a dead horse and repeatedly blast the WHO tonight, but Ethan Nadelman says onto Twitters, if you're not already following the Ethan man, you need to go into at Ethan Nadelman and following him and hitting the alert button. But here it says the cowardly and anti-scientific position of at World Health Organization in opposing #tobacco, #harm reduction is fundamentally at odds with its mission and perhaps explained in part by its reliance on Michael Bloomberg's funding and undue influence at Clive Bates, #vaping saves lives.
Yeah.
Now, Ethan Nadelman has nothing to do with vaping.
Nope.
He is a drug policy guy.
Yep.
And he has been fighting for harm reduction in the drug supply / drug policy world for decades.
Yep.
But he sees what we see, that vaping is a human right to having good health. Right. We talked about that just a little while ago.
Exactly.
But Joe Gitchell retweets Ethan Nadelman.
Yes.
And it says, but what if he's right? He does have a decent track record, to be honest. Stay curious. And Ethan Nadelman has a podcast called Psychoactive. If you're not following that, you need to do so.
Yep.
I'm sure he will never promote my podcast. I will promote his.
Yes. And I put Ethan Nadelman's Twitter in there. And I'm also putting in, for you guys who are really interested, and you may be, Wednesday's version of the Vapors Digest out of the UK covered the WHO fiasco pretty deeply. There was
deeper than us.
12.
Like we use their own words against them.
There's a shitload of links. No, it's not in the same coverage that we do. We're just giving highlights of each one at that moment for the week.
Now, speaking of swag,
at the time.
Speaking of swag, I saw some swag that you were promoting on your Twitter.
Which one? Oh, wait a minute. I got a full line. No, that's part of it.
That's only part of it. Well, that was the.
I have a full collection now.
That's the one that I retweeted. Did you make a new one after I retweeted you?
I did. I made a couple. Let
me find it.
Hold on. Where's
now?
There we go. Whenever you're ready.
I'm always ready. You have an entire collection of swag.
Oh yeah. So Bloomberg's up here on the top left. Please keep smoking. Tobacco Free Kids gets 2. One's taser free, one's tobacco free. Pave. Please keep smoking. We need the money, although they're not probably financed through smoking directly. They get it from Bloomberg. Truth Manipulative, of course, because they want to inspire tobacco in your lives.
Now, Kevin, are we going to get in trouble for the Truth logo again?
Oh, I don't give a shit. The World Health Organization was actually Carl's. Carl saw my little piece that you put on it first, and he did this himself. Now, they're a little blurry because I got them so big. FDA, there's no safe tobacco product, but if it's defective, damaged, or contaminated, let us know. The CDC, we don't want you to know e-cigarettes have the potential to benefit adult smokers, rather. ASH in the United States has been hating people who smoke since 1967. And then, of course, go ahead.
I just burped.
Oh, sorry. And then, the body parts people. I think it was Mallory.
You put Caitlyn Jenner on one?
I didn't do these two. I don't want to say who it was because I forget. I thought it was Mallory. Anyway, we got Retchen, and we got Mr. So What Dumbass. Mary Jo, if you remember, one of the reps over in PA. We got Professor Puff and Stuff, and we got Simon here. Oh, and my girl. There's Ruth. Because we don't know enough yet. It's like a religious cult.
Sir, did you acquire the likeness rights to those people?
No.
Oh, man. You're gonna get us deplatformed.
As a matter of fact, fuck no, I didn't. Fuck them.
Yeah. So Charlie, Chauncey, our very good friend.
I'm a fanboy. I'm just man crushing all of them.
He who needs a microphone.
He does.
He does need a microphone, especially if he's doing a podcast. He needs to sound good.
I'll send him mine. You can send me another one. I don't care.
You just want his address. So Chauncey has a thread here. This is the updating this thread. Anti-vaping organizations are the only entities advertising nicotine vapes, e-cigarettes to teens. First example, the Truth Initiative using puppets.
Yes.
And it's an 11-minute piece. I'm not going to play it. Then there's this kid deep-throating cigarettes here, which is just not, it's too suggestive. Anti-vaping organizations are the only entities. This is Tobacco-Free Kids, showing a kid smoking a pack of cigarettes or a Juul pod.
Yeah.
This one is an anti-vaping organization. This is the WHO and the Framework Convention, and it shows and we actually showed this one on the show last year.
Yes, we did.
With the invisible mod and the real smoke with no, this is just confusing to me.
Yep.
Another Muppet from Truth. This is the talking animals. We played this piece on the show, the actual video. This is the Escape the Vape ice cream or candy truck. This is Truth Initiative. I'm just wondering, are they trying to pick up kids? And, that's kind of creepy.
Patrick.
This is UCLA with a cartoon hipster kid with a wave hairdo. Now, can you really tell if a cartoon is an adult or a child?
No.
Because I can't tell.
No.
This is Minnesota High School. This is Missing It in Minnesota. This is a picture, a billboard of a high school kid handing another high school kid in class a vape. This is a Barron River District Health Department billboard, The Truth About Vaping. And it actually, I can't tell if this is it been graffitied or is it meant to look this childish?
Yeah.
Kevin?
It's meant to look that way.
Okay. Then disobeyvape.com showing a person holding his head with a holographic brain over their head. Yeah. Vaping can cause mood swings and reckless behavior. Actually, no, vaping can cause stabilization of mood swings and reckless behavior. The MAOIs in cigarettes also do that, but this
Allison.
is disobeyed.
Allison did those.
Or did you finally figure that shit out?
Yeah, just hit me.
Really, man?
Alley vapes, yeah.
So yeah, these are examples. This is
there's my
orange. Friend. It looks like guar or something.
That should be a series, really. Honestly, they should make it a series.
looks like a Mortal Kombat character, maybe.
Nicotine!
Don't have popcorn lung when you're young. Don't have popcorn lung ever.
Well, it's a thing.
Flavorshookkids.org. All of these are. Oh, there's the pedophile van again. The Escape the Vape projectfilter.org bus with candy pictures.
Now, somebody thinks this is a good idea, Patrick. So,
there's what, 30 of these or so. There's another puppet. These are
30,
all
40.
These, what is this? Two gay guys making out, like vaping together? What, I can't tell.
Wasn't that a commercial where they were in the bathroom? It was alluding to that, and then they were sharing a vape at the end, if I believe I'm correct.
I don't know, but I did read an article this week where they took doors off of the toilets.
Yes,
And one of the justifications was that kids were in there doing it. So,
because you don't want to target anybody or anything.
No, we don't want to shame people for their preferences either, right?
No.
So, yeah, I think there's like 30 different examples, 28 different examples of different. And this is the new verbiage that Caleb Mintz in that WHO video used the phrase "Big Tobacco 2.0."
Yep, 2.0.
And this is the new messaging. So, this is another ad, and it's a young girl holding up a vape, and it says "Meet Big Tobacco 2.0."
Yep.
So, are they saying that this little girl, is Big Tobacco 2.0? I'm not sure, Kevin.
Obviously. So, just as a reminder to everyone, Truth Initiative. That's where I'm going. I'm going back to it here. Truth Initiative spent in 2019 alone on their 990 for 2019, $59,890,067 for marketing. It says marketing right on it. Right. Underneath that, they spent just under $2 million for research. So you got marketing, $60 million for marketing. I said marketing to children. They just put marketing. And then research was the second part of that. So thankfully they did something, They had to research whether their lies would work or not.
So here's the deal. This is a dirty question that Tom asked in the chat room. He says, are there no age restrictions on actors' adverts like serving, selling alcohol or tobacco? So here's the deal on that. I was told, or I read in a tweet or somewhere, that yes, there is and it depends on which organization and what their actual documentation says for their organization. But the thing is, most of these organizations don't make the commercials themselves. So they add a degree of separation by hiring an ad agency or a casting agency to do that for them. So then they remove any responsibility for that. So yes, there is, and then obviously with public health messages where they're saying don't do this, sure, they're gonna be able to hold a toddler up and have the toddler hold a vape, as long as they don't actually show them putting it in their mouth. So I would say yes. I mean, this particular one, this Meet Big Tobacco 2.0, the girl's holding the mod like a foot and a half away from her head. Now that one where the boy was deep throating a pack of cigarettes, he actually had it in his mouth, but it was probably computer generated or something. They can say, "Oh no, that was studio trickery. We just told him to open up his mouth like this," and then you dirty-minded people can go on from there.
I'm looking for something to help answer that question.
Oh, hey, for a second there, I thought I got a private message on Twitter, and I thought for a minute there that it was the WHO saying, "Yes, we want to come on your show." It wasn't.
You're so damn funny.
It wasn't.
That was early this morning. the advertising that they've done, they've recruited children purposely, 13 to 17 or something, and I can't see the graphic offhand, but
I don't know what you're doing. So Inco.
Go.
What? I'm looking at new content that I didn't know until just now. Keep doing what you were doing. I'm
looking.
I'm reading to see if I want to discuss this.
Oh, okay. You can do that.
Come on, last minute add-ons.
Ain't scared. I don't know where it's at. Damn it.
Hey, Matt ordered a shirt, by the way. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Very kindly. What is shit?
Ooh, we're almost to a monitor, Kevin.
Damn. That
happened pretty quick.
Well, I don't see it right now. I've got my thing so damn big I can't go fast enough down the line.
Wow.
For Tom, out in California, they had a casting company and they were looking for 13-year-olds. And at the very, very bottom, I have in yellow, and it would take me too long to find what I've listed that in my brain as, that some of the subjects that they would hire would be portrayed vaping. And they were going to use zero nicotine to do so. So the manipulation of things that Deanna found out in Freedom Vapes out in Montana, the Freedom of Information Act, they wanted to put masks on the pictures, gas masks. They wanted to use formaldehyde. They wanted to use all that other shit. So they're using kids as a weapon on purpose. So is there a limit? Not really. Not for the nonprofits. What you were saying with the alcohol industry, they probably have some standard of some sort. None of these motherfuckers are telling the truth. And they're going to use anything they can and do to do it. It's a lie.
So what exactly was my head supposed to explode from earlier?
Oh, to hear the tweet that I sent with it.
There was no tweet with it.
Oh, bullshit.
No, look, I'm looking right at it here. Let's see.
Hold on.
I'll add it to the screen. There's nothing.
No. In our messages, I sent it to you in the message.
But you tweeted. I thought you would at least include this. Anyway.
No.
I don't. Why would I even lower myself to even look at something that has Tahir Turk's name on it?
Well, there's a reason for it. He's promoting.
He's got 35 followers, man. No, it doesn't matter what he posts. 35 people are going to see it. If you guys would ignore him, his tweets would get no traction at all.
The perfect nicotine high is what he said.
What's his name? So, see, I thought completely I was looking all over the place to find relevant stuff. And I was like, okay, I see something here about third-hand exposure. Is that what he's talking about?
No, I said, now off you go. I said, nice on the shirt. And then I said, off you go, stoner. Because I wanted you to see the words high. Nicotine high. Look at his damn tweet in your message. You'll be fine.
Well, I was not expecting there to be a tweet that referenced a PM. And then when I saw you sent me something from Tahir, I was like, I'm not even going to look at that because it's stupid.
Here.
It's not worth my... Tahir Turk is not worth my time.
No, just
he's not even worth your time, but you still give him air. I don't understand.
Because I thought it was hilarious. We're getting high with nicotine. That's all.
This is a moron that's a public health doctor and social justice and environment adjunct professor at Dow University. He's a moron. Just ignore him. His 35 followers will see what he tweets and nobody else will. It doesn't matter. He's pointless.
The nicotine's making me high, Patrick.
It's making you stupid, I think. Just ignore him.
Oh my
Here,
God.
Kevin. Here, this is for you. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I mean, just ignore him.
I told him to watch the show.
He's on the payroll. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, he's
It does not matter what you say. I have two more things.
Yeah.
And then, if there's something you want to talk about, I will let you speak.
Oh, good.
So there's this guy, Verge Lindsay.
Oh,
You will not be able to tell me that Verge does not work for 22nd Century. Everything on his profile is 22nd Century. Everything. He is a paid actor. So Verge is, and he tweeted this same tweet to like 20 different accounts.
Yeah.
He just randomly posted this same thing on. He tagged multiple people. Not just this tweet. Like he cut and pasted this same tweet to like 30 different places.
Yeah, he's relentless.
And he said, Mr. Zeller, why have you, FDA, not approved 22nd Century's MRTP for VLN cigarettes? Millions of future illnesses and deaths could be eliminated. You said as much in your TED Talk. And then he throws a picture or a link to the TED Talk, and there's a picture of Lucky's ad from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, could it be the idea of reducing nicotine? The least harmful constituent in cigarettes is asinine. You want to make a tobacco harm reduction product? Reduce the harmful stuff like PAH, nitrosamines, aromatic amines, butadiene, benzene, aldehydes, and ethylene oxide. Those are all cancer-causing agents that are in cigarettes. Those are still at the same levels in the 22nd Century cigarettes as they are in regular combustible cigarettes. So why would you ask for a MRTP, which is a modified risk tobacco product, when the only thing that you've reduced is the one thing in there that is not a carcinogen, that does not cause significant harm? All it does is make you want to smoke more.
So
if you're going to reduce something, reduce the fucking carcinogens, you moron.
So the FDA has the ability to reduce nicotine,
yes,
tar,
yes,
and other things. They're choosing nicotine, and they have the legal right to do so, to reduce that. But they also have the right to reduce the tar and other carcinogens. But that's not what they're doing. In 22nd Century answered me directly on Twitter and said, no. They said absolutely not. Not
all
we're not
of the
doing
bad
that.
stuff is still
Everything's
there.
staying the same.
The only thing we're reducing is the nicotine.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Virgil's been around a while.
And Charles made a comment, said in the show that he felt like that they were that was okay, that they were, and that's the one thing that Charles and I do not agree on.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is ridiculously anti-logic. It is stupid.
They've done it before. Edward Koop said, this can't happen. Public health would never let it happen. Just nicotine. I've got the screenshot of an article that he wrote after he was out of being Surgeon General. And of course he's dead, but they're proving him wrong. They're going for it. And every single fucking, there's like 80 signatures wanting this to happen. Including lung cancer and heart, all that. They all want it. Tobacco-free kids want it. They all want it. Every fucking one of them.
They're stupid.
They're demanding. They're demanding it.
Get rid of the nicotine. How about you get rid of the fucking carcinogens? How about that?
$100 million plus so far has been spent by the FDA to research this.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's
Tarryton's. Was it Tarryton maybe?
I don't know.
There's Quest. There was Quest by all means, and I think Tarryton or Tarryton or whatever the brand was were supposed to be lower nicotine, and they flopped completely. Now, do I care that there's a choice? No. Do I care that it's
the only choice?
Right. Do I care that it's the only choice? And do I care that they're manipulating the data? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't know that they're manipulating data. I think that they just say shit and people believe it. I don't know that they're actually fudging the numbers. They're probably not even publishing the numbers.
One of the first studies showed that people that didn't want to quit lowered their smoking by 1.6 cigarettes a day. I think if I have it correct.
Ooh.
Right. And he said, good job. Good job. People that didn't quit.
Now,
and I'm
how many
like,
times have I heard it? No, Kevin. How many times have I heard these asshats say, if you smoke one,
yeah,
then you haven't quit.
Right.
Now, when we say it's about the ones that you don't smoke, then they say, no, that's not true.
Right. Let me pull this up because this is more important than I think it is. I want you to tell me I'm wrong. That's a goal for you.
I say that all the time, Kevin.
I want you to read what I've highlighted as soon as I can get my screen to comply correctly.
You know, if you had two monitors.
If I had two monitors, I would have more than one. So I got to find.
You'd be able to at least know what the hell you're doing.
Right. If I put it on my Twitter line without actually tweeting it, it's easier for me to find it. So XXII is their stock number or stock thing, whatever the frick they call it.
Their ticker number, their ticker abbreviation.
Yeah, and it bumps back and forth. It goes all round and round. So let me rub it and make it bigger because I don't want to hear you whining and complaining.
Well, you asked me to read it. I have to be able to read it, Kevin. You said read the stuff that I have highlighted.
Now, this is going to be the tobacco control math that I've spoken about before. 51% of these smokers, let me see, that should be it right there. Can you see it?
So it says, question, do non-daily smokers decrease cigarette consumption when switched from their own brand to very low nicotine content VLNCC compared with identical normal nicotine content cigarettes? Findings. In this randomized double-blind trial with 238 randomized participants, the mean cigarettes per day was reduced significantly more in the VLNCC group, significantly 1 point cigarettes per day, 51% of baseline, than in the regular nicotine group, which was 0.05 per day, or 2% of the day's baseline. So what they were saying is that 51% of the people that were in the very low nicotine cigarette group significantly reduced their smoking intake by 1.6 cigarettes per day. Whereas the people in the other cigarette group, the regular cigarette group, reduced by, how do you get 0.05 of a cigarette? That's 5/100ths of a cigarette.
They had to go. They had to put it out early. They had to snub it out. So am I wrong?
Meaning, like daily smokers, switching to VLNCCs caused non-daily cigarette smokers to reduce their cigarette consumption, although it does not necessarily cause them to stop smoking. Significantly by reducing 1.5 cigarettes, that's not significant. If there are 2 packs a day smokers, that's not a significant decrease.
Right. So non-daily smokers, 1.6 less cigarettes, and it's a staggering 51% because the number that they gave was 51% of them lowered their smoking.
Yes,
so I found this trial and I went, oh, wait a second here, you fucking retard. So they said, oh, that's very good. They didn't want to quit. They were not, heavy smokers, and they lowered their cigarette consumption. That was the tweet. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? This does not stop smoking. If it did, it's absolutely double blind. So that's the RC bullshit story. But you got 200 people. 1, 2, it's a it's a cigarette and a half. Maybe they had
But
to take
Kevin,
this.
these are the same dumbasses that say these are the same fucking dumbasses that when we say every cigarette that you don't smoke is a victory, right? We say that. At least I say that. It's about the ones you don't smoke.
I
They
dropped
say
more fucking cigarettes in a toilet than I didn't smoke.
they say no. If you reduce your cigarettes, it doesn't matter. It's complete and total cessation. That matters. But yet these are the same people that just said 1.5 cigarettes is a significant reduction
from a non-daily smoker. Why did they not go for an absolute heavy 2-3 pack a day like I was?
Because they wouldn't find a significant difference then.
And there you go. And who's paying for this again? We are.
Well, no, 22nd Century is or whatever. But
$100 million they've spent. The FDA has spent. Our government has spent on non-nicotine or low nicotine cigarettes. This is such a
they pre-bought a bunch of them. I know that.
Yes, they did, and they've ordered more.
All right, we're losing people. We're losing people, Kevin. We're losing people with your nonsense. Let's cover my nonsense. I still have one more thing of nonsense.
Fine.
So this is a tweet that came from AJ Plus, which is a unique digital news and storytelling project promoting human rights and equality, holding power to account, and amplify the voices of the powerless. And they have 1.2 million followers.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So it says here, the WHO says e-cigarettes must be better regulated to stop young people from getting addicted to nicotine. According to a new report, 16,000 flavors of vapes are designed to target kids. 1 in 5 U.S. high schoolers are vaping, and 8+ million people die from smoking tobacco each year. So I wanted to address the 16,000 thing. So I was like, wait, you think that 16,000 flavors were, quote, designed to target kids? What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Was that designed to target children? I bet you like chocolate cake. I'm sorry if you're in the room, Chris. I'm targeting chocolate cake. Does that only appeal to children? How are you a news source when you can't even think critically? So here's the thing. I'm going to click on my comment because this guy, Enrique David Toro, says, "Come on, man." No, he says, "Come on. Oh, come on. When you see products like these, you got to admit there's marketing to kids going on here." So what he does is he puts a picture of an e-liquid line called Fantasy, which is a blatant ripoff of Fanta Cola or Fanta soft drinks. This is a blatant ripoff of Fanta. Now, he didn't go there, though. He said that this marketing is targeting children. And all this is colored bottles, colored glass bottles with the word Fantasy, like a paintball or a paint splash, the word apple, and a picture of an iconographic apple. On the grape flavor, it's identical, but it's on a different colored glass, and it has a little drawing of grapes. Then they have mango ice and orange it's an orange glass, and lemonade, which I don't get, is a powder blue color with a lemon on it. I don't get that. But anyway, so I said, "Are you saying?" Oh no, that's not my. I replied to him. All right, so this is his thing. So I said, "Yeah, adults don't like colored bottles."
Yeah.
So I actually found another product. This is an adult product. This is vodka that comes in colored glass bottles. Who really, I mean, if you think about it, that branding is pretty much spot on. It's colored glass bottles with flavor names on them, right? Yep. Okay. So that was a pretty spot on example. So then I replied back with another picture. This is flavored condoms. And it's a colorful packaging with a picture of fruit. And I'm like, are you saying that harm reduction products shouldn't catch people's eyes? If that's true, then you would be pro unprotected youth sex. Ban all the condoms and bring on the rampant youth STD epidemic and all the teen moms and dads. Also fruit flavored. So must be for kids, right? Because it's fruit flavored.
Has to be.
Now he didn't reply. Like this is, I'm skipping over his replies real quick because he didn't reply until the next day. Yeah. So then the next thing I posted was a picture of colored tampons. And I said, "Oh my God, Big Tampon is using colors to hook our kids."
Big Tampax.
Yeah. So then I found a brand of beer that has very colorful packaging.
Yep.
With little, I mean, this is gingerbread beer or hard cider, fruit flavored. And I said, "Where's the outrage? Colorful cans of fruit flavored adult products.
You can't be outraged.
They must be demonized and banned immediately." So then I said, "Oh, you know what? I even found more products that have colored product bottles and cartoon labels."
Yep.
This is hand sanitizer. I said, products for kids are the only ones that can use colorful packaging and cartoon imagery, ? Check the Poison Control Center call logs and see which products have the highest numbers. It isn't colorfully packaged safer nicotine liquid, by the way. Hand sanitizer and toothpaste are the two most called in substances. And now Didymus decided to put a colored dildo in there. And then Juka found a picture of Nicorette gum in colorful packages with candy pictures.
Yep.
So then David, like the next day, David started responding. So in response to my colored vodka bottles, he goes, "Well, it does look like the kind of thing I would have tried to steal from the pantry when I was 16. Nowadays, give me scotch."
Yeah.
Then he says, well, and he admits that he's a vapor.
Yeah.
He says to me in one of my tweets, "Hey, I've been trying to kick the cigarette addiction for years before I found vaping. What I wish is for no one to get addicted to nicotine, and subtle marketing to minors is not helping the community in that common goal." Excuse me. I don't particularly think this is the most, I mean, obviously it is trademark infringement is what this is. I'm not supporting this branding, and I'm not arguing that this branding is great, but at least I know for a fact, I look at this and I don't see cartoon characters. I don't see anything that I would particularly find problematic if it wasn't trademark infringed. I mean, it is. This is definitely Fanta's branding. It's the same font. It's the same, very similar logo. But I don't see that this is childish. I don't see that this is any more child marketing than any of these other products that I put in here.
And we've yet to see any that have been directly marketed to kids, as we discussed at the beginning of the show.
There is no company that is directly marketing products to kids, period.
99.999% of the people that are small businesses are former smokers. They're not going to target the fucking kids.
Not even Big Tobacco. None of these companies have marketed to kids.
None.
Period.
Zero.
Now, they may have made questionable branding decisions like this Fanta thing. I mean, obviously this is bad because it's a fucking trademark infringement.
I've reported personally trademark infringements. I've personally done so.
To who?
Let's see. Spearmint gum. What is that? Wrigley's. Wrigley. They already had the report, and almost every one of them after that had done the same thing.
So,
they were on it.
What annoys me is this guy says he has a degree in marketing, but he doesn't understand that flavor.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Flavor is not a marketing. Flavor is the content. Marketing is the branding, is the advertisement. That is marketing.
Appeal.
Where you promote your product, that is marketing. And this guy claims that he has a degree in marketing. But flavor is something that you wouldn't even know until you buy the product.
Right.
And tested it to see if you liked the flavor.
See, Pippa says,
flavoring has nothing to do with marketing, period.
Right. Pippa says Christmas rum balls are canceled. I don't know what they taste like, but I'm intrigued.
Well, they're balls that have rum in them.
Yeah, but I don't know what it tastes like.
Do you like balls dipped in rum?
Tic Tacs. Dipped in rum, possibly. Maybe. Could be.
Maybe, might, could possibly be.
It's a thing.
I know what they are. I'm just messing with you now because you don't know what they are.
It's a thing.
So yeah, Hamish got a little dirty-minded this week, and I had to pick on him a little bit about being a little pervy.
There you go. There you
little
go.
Pervy. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Do you got anything, Kevin?
I've got one thing, and I'm not quite sure exactly how to approach it. So I'm going to just skim a couple things. It was brought to my attention in a Twitter tweet thread by someone who I actually adore that they're being shamed. And I'm not real fond of that.
No.
From going to zero nicotine, finding that nicotine is helpful to them, and in general shaming somebody for that in private messages is ballless and uncalled for. So as an example, when I was 16 years old, I'm driving with my father and I ran out of cigarettes, and I was already smoking and he knew it. And I said, we got to stop up here. I need to get some cigarettes. And he said, here, have a real cigarette. He handed me a Rally 100 or whatever he had at the time. And I never thought that he was trying to shame me into smoking a man's cigarette at that age, at that time. Today, I think, geez, Patrick, how do you take your coffee when you drink your coffee?
Depending on my mood, if I'm really in a black mood.
Yeah.
Black.
Well, I think you should have sugar in it.
I don't drink sugar. I don't like sugar.
I don't care.
I don't put added sugar in anything.
No, you need to have sugar in your coffee and milk or cream, because that's how I
can kiss my black coffee ass.
Kick my black coffee ass.
I can kick your black coffee ass for sure, but
all the ass. So when you're trying to PM or DM somebody, and I don't know who this is, and I don't probably want to know, but how about fuck you? And that was part of the thread, was fuck you. So
the horse you rode in on.
When I smoked my Marlboro Lights, that's what I liked. And then I went to Durrell, and eventually I got used to them, and then I got used to other things, and I rolled my own in the end. And then somebody like my wife, she's using 3 nicotine. It works for her. I think she should have more nicotine, but it doesn't go for her. She doesn't like the feel of it. It's not my decision to tell her to do 6 or 9 or 12 or 0 or whatever the fuck she wants to do. Leave her be. So if you're in the group or you're listening and it was you, fuck off. If you're not in the group and you hear about it, you can still fuck off. I don't know who it was, and I hope I never do, because honestly, it's bullshit the way I read this thread. So if you guys saw it, great. If you didn't, that's fine. I was going to use it, and then I thought, it doesn't matter. Leave people alone. The WHO is doing well enough trying to control everything we are all trying to do and accomplish and be, or be something else that we want to be, whatever that is. Doesn't matter. You don't take people's race, creed, religion, choices, thoughts, and make them your own for them to become something you want them to be. That's just, my grandson is 2.5. He's going to be whatever he wants to be when he grows up. All I'm there to do is guide him and make sure he doesn't hit his fucking head on the cement. That's it. That's it. So
well,
shaming people.
You might spend a minute or two teaching him right and wrong.
There'll be moments, yes, right and wrong. But I chose to tell my kids, hey, don't smoke. It's a dumb fucking thing to do. And then
they still smoke.
Agree. And now they agree with me and they can't stop or don't want to stop or whatever. And thank you, Mallory. Yeah, I chewed on my little pink. Where is my pink pencil? My wife says it's purple. I say it's pink. My pink mechanical pencil. Judge me, motherfucker. Who cares? Okay. I'm just trying to get the.
Damn, I don't even. Why did I click on this?
Which one?
The GIF of the baby falling over that you posted.
because I'm high.
This is literally a conversation that I don't want to have because
I know. I told you your head would explode.
Teehee is participating in it. I'm just gonna call him Teehee. Teehee Turk.
He's a good example of a bad example. I just thought high. Now you're adding in. You're getting high with nicotine. Please, if you can't be professional, stop.
Well, I mean, to be honest, some kids are vaping really high nicotine to get a buzz. But there is such a thing as a nicotine buzz, Kevin.
In and out of context, though. High as in you're stoned, high as in you're drunk, high as in you're.
Well, you do get a little lightheaded. You can
hyperventilate and get lightheaded.
That's true. That's why we have whippets.
I remember them.
And poppers.
I remember them.
Whippets and poppers are not the same thing, though, Kevin. We already had this conversation.
Don't cancel Darwin Awards because we need that.
I don't think we should have Darwin Awards. I think we should just let Darwinism reign supreme and weed out the unfit to exist. Did I say that out loud?
Oh. They're always going to be there.
You always bring the worst out of me, Kevin.
I know. It's because it's pretty prominent. You just don't let it come up, and I just kind of let it fall to the surface.
Dude, all there is the worst of me. That's all there is. Let me see. Let me scroll through here one more second.
And besides, with Logan, he's actually watching us every time he comes now. So there you go.
So yeah, Kevin, when you sent me a picture of these So What lighters, you even said alley vapes.
Oh, did I? I forgot.
You did. You sent me in the private message. You sent me that was alley vapes.
She made both of those.
So okay, there is quite a few of these different news pieces by different writers about the WHO thing. I'm going to slap a bunch of these links in the chat room. I will show the filter one just because our friend Alex, who will be on the show in 2 weeks. Alex, on the 13th of August, Alex Norcia will be on the show. This is Alex's piece on Filter Magazine. The WHO emphasizes its mission to destroy safer nicotine alternatives is the title. And again, it covers a lot of the same content that we mentioned. We went through each of these by piece. And we also discussed the 1.D or 1D, where they are supposed to actually, but I invite you to read that. I'm not going to, at least I've read it. I'm not going to read it to you. But there's multiple pieces just like that. So what's really funny is a lot of these media associations and stuff are printing pieces, whether it's Christopher Snowden's piece, whether it's Alex's piece, or the piece in Sky News there that was written by somebody else. There are quite a few of these pieces where people are finally calling them out on their BS,
right?
Which should be applauded and celebrated. It is disconcerting to me that nobody else, like CNN, didn't put a piece out saying, "Hey, the FDA or the WHO has their head up their asses and are ignoring their own treaty."
Continuously have been. They've been doing it for 5 years.
At least, since at least 2006. We found a piece in 2006 pointing out all the shit that we pointed out tonight, and we didn't find that until after we had already had the show built. I had already clipped the video, had already done all the stuff, had already found the link to the actual treaty itself, And then I found an academic piece written by a lawyer and a doctor pointing out all the ways that the WHO is ignoring its duty to promote and engender tobacco harm reduction programs.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't get it.
Paul Blair said today on a tweet, it's fair to say faith in public health authorities is at an all-time low, right? Or am I wrong about this? So I made a quick graph of how we have confidence and trust perception of public health, which went from here to here in a couple of years. But there was another one similar or under his, I think, that said, well, welcome to the world of vapors, or to that effect, because that's what we've been dealing with for years.
You're welcoming Paul Blair, who's been here longer than you have.
Yeah. What? No. Someone else said under it, welcome to the vapors world. This is what we've been doing all along. We've been telling you that
that's
for 10 years.
Obviously somebody that doesn't know shit, but Paul Blair's been around since like 2000, and like the first time we invited him to an event was in like 2011.
I was like 12. Yeah, I was still smoking.
So,
it's crazy. Trust in public health has been going down. Oh, it was my pal Zippy, Tom Frieden, former CDC director, also Bloomberg, ass licker. So, same idea. Same idea. Welcome to our world. He didn't care about us. Suddenly he's worried about trust in public health. Imagine that.
So I think that's everything, Kevin. I think we hit all of the points that we had said we were going to hit, and we spent a lot longer on the WHO thing than what I had originally. I thought we'd be able to zip through that much faster, but we had a lot of points to talk about, and I think if you want to go back and watch the first hour and a half of the show, you'll see we found repeatedly where they either admitted that they're ignoring their duty, B, they showed their motivation, why they're ignoring their duty, money. They're unwilling to accept the pretty much, I mean, I don't know of any way other than to say they're ignoring science. They're ignoring the 20 million or 60 million or however many million people that have used vaping to quit smoking. When they say, well, some people say, or some people claim, that's what the chick said. Some people claim or say that vaping helped them quit smoking. And she rolled her eyes. That is evidence-based practice right there. I mean, there is no better evidence than real world use. And real people have used vaping to quit smoking. So I don't understand why they're unwilling to at least acknowledge that. And they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. You didn't see Dr. Tedros say, well, some people. No, the fucking host of the show said, chuckle, chuckle, there are some people who say or who claim that vaping helps people quit smoking. Rolls eyes. What do you say about that, doctor? Well, our science shows that possibly maybe somebody that vaped one time started smoking.
Somewhere.
Maybe.
We can find them. and it is possible. I'm not doubting it for a second.
I am sure that there's been at least one person in the entire history of vaping that started vaping and picked up a cigarette once.
Absolutely.
I am almost positive that it has happened at least once. I am not denying that it's impossible. Now, I will say that mass migration from vaping to smoking is not possible.
Right.
People's taste buds do not degrade that you would go voluntarily from something that had good flavor, that did the job, and you would go to an inferior product that has a horrible flavor that doesn't do the job. it is not reasonable that mass migration would happen that way. That would be like me going from eating steak every night to voluntarily switching to hot dogs every night. It's never going to happen.
Taco Bell.
Well, every once in a while you might have Taco Bell, but that's just because it's like a nostalgic thing,
Ugh. Not anymore. Not even close.
I saw Demetrius sent me a humorous screenshot. I'm not going to show it on screen because it does dox somebody. But they were in a group and they said, "Hey, does anybody want a hexome? I'm too broke to vape and I don't need it anymore."
Okay.
So is he too broke to vape or has he stopped vaping and is not smoking? I mean, I was like, is this a victory? Is this, or is the guy bitching and moaning and hoping that somebody will send him free stuff? I didn't quite get the full gist of this, but the guy was going to give away his hexome because he didn't need any more because he couldn't afford to vape. Okay. So I couldn't get the gist of that, whether he was saying I need, if he'd asked for help, right, I would have understood what the hell he was talking about. But he just said, I'm giving my hexome away because I can't vape anymore because I don't have any money. So are you going to go back to smoking or are you good now? I couldn't figure that out. But it did kind of the priority of what he was saying there was I think he's dry begging. I think he's asking for help, but he doesn't want to say, I need help.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kevin, how do you want to say goodbye tonight?
Oh, man. Stop picking on each other so much. Pick on the people that are fucking with us.
Well, I can't pick on you anymore?
Oh, yeah, you can. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
Pretty much everybody can. Like a duck.
I was worried you were saying that I couldn't pick on you anymore because you were being sensitive.
Look at that. Yeah. Try to hurt my feelings a little harder. That's all. That's what they're for.
Do you want to put a dress on or
no? Just maybe some curlers. If you're gonna critique someone for how they stop smoking, and you yourself stop smoking, think how you did it and how many people did that to you, by force or by bullying or by stigma or by whatever. The kid himself said, hey, don't put this on me. It's not my fault. Whatever. It doesn't matter. If he quit smoking, that's great. If he started vaping, that's great. And if it was what's-her-face's boy, then good for him, But she publicly said it on Twitter and then deleted it. But it doesn't matter if that was part of it. He alluded to, well, I was doing things when I was younger and whatever. I mean, is he 18 now, 19? So when you're talking to each other, though, that's a whole different story. When you're saying you can't say things that are affecting you, to finish that thread that I was speaking of earlier, my experience is my experience. Yours is yours. We're going to do things differently. So it doesn't mean you have to agree with it. And it doesn't give you the right to, bitch and moan at somebody about it either. So what I want is to keep pointing out the big idiots and not have to worry about the little ones. That's what I want. What do you want, Patrick?
I'm just looking at what Pippa just wrote. You are correct. You are correct. I apologize, Pippa. You are correct. I've had my ass beat by plenty of women.
and the wife is the boss.
So, I was always taught never, ever, ever to physically assault a woman. So
me too.
I was just taught that.
I'm too scared. Yeah.
And my wife sleeps with a machete under her pillow. So I'm just saying.
If I was married to you, I would too.
The most frightening thing is she said to me, I don't know if I've said this on the show before, a while back, she said to me, "You need to take me to the gun store and buy me a gun."
There you go. That's exactly
and
what
I
you should.
and then teach me how to use it. And I said, I will take you to the gun store and buy you a gun and pay somebody to teach you how to use it.
Exactly.
And she said, why would you pay somebody to do something that you could do yourself? I said, because you will argue with me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I pay somebody, you will recognize that they are being paid to do the job and you won't argue with them.
So in other words, she's actually in charge and you're not afraid of that.
I am a kept man. I'm very proud of that.
Kept under a rug.
So I want to. This is a tweet that it says, I have the quote here. Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but your computer's making noise and interrupting me. It says the only truth on today's WHO report on the global tobacco epidemic 2021. Time to focus on tobacco harm reduction. What you are doing now is clearly a wasted effort. Hashtag save for nicotine. And then I included a video clip of Caleb.
Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.
Caleb, did you ever take up smoking or try any e-cigarettes as a result of that presentation and that, because of peer pressure perhaps from your own friends?
So I certainly, in my time in high school, with vaping being so prevalent, I cannot say that I've never used it. And I think that there should be no shame associated with using any of these products because they're just so prevalent in high schools. But yeah, a lot of my peers use these products. I've experimented with these products, and yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And so interesting to see that, that they were sort of saying, we're not targeting you. We don't want you to be a customer. But ultimately, as you said, if you tell a teenager, don't do something, there's every incentive then to kind of go and do it as well.
So
he did that before he was advertised to during that meeting. Good.
And not only that, Kevin, but he's a minor.
Mm-hmm.
The WHO is pushing for all these regulations and rules. One of them is youth use restriction, which we already have, and the kid has access to it, still got it.
So they didn't.
So we have an example of our country enforcing what they want. One of their requests we've already done and shown it don't work. But yet you're still asking other countries to do this, and it doesn't work.
And he didn't say, well, I quit smoking using it either. He just kind of alluded to, well, I did other things. And blah, blah.
So
whether he did or not, I don't know.
They negated their own mission by saying, hey, Caleb, come and talk on our thing. And then we're going to say, you're going to say whatever you want to say. And one of the things that he said is, when you tell kids not to do something, they're going to do it. What is the WHO saying? Tell kids not to do it.
Right.
It doesn't work. Push age restrictions. We have age restrictions. It doesn't work. Push educational programs and have people talk about the product in front of the kids and say, kids, don't buy these products. What do the kids do? They buy the products. So none of these measures work. But yet they're doing them, Kevin.
They're doing them, and they have an echo chamber that has to be kept by now.
And they're perpetuating it, even though they don't work. They're still pushing that.
Yeah.
They're still pushing it.
Global.
So, yeah, I want everybody to understand the WHO are failures at almost everything they do.
Yes.
And they're unwilling to adapt and change with the times and learn from their mistakes and failures. And they need to go.
They need to
go.
Badly.
And over the next short period of time, probably 2 to 4 weeks, they're going to spend massive amounts of money pushing their agenda. We've already seen the beginning parts of their social media wing working, but they're going to be pushing news pieces talking about TikTok, talking about youth vaping epidemic, talking about the dangers of vaping, talking about people that possibly didn't have COVID and had EVALI. Those are all fishy sorts of news pieces that they're going to push to distract people and keep people from thinking for themselves. So I want to say, as my final comment, think for your fucking selves, people. Learn how to think critically. Don't take everything at face value. Read it and dissect it. You have a brain, use it. Hey, and you know what? If you got like $20, go buy a fucking t-shirt so that Kevin can get a monitor and so that we can offer to buy Charlie a microphone, because we want to promote Inco. We want Charlie to look as good as possible, to sound as good as possible. If he's doing this podcast thing, learn from us, because we've been doing it for 10 years. So we know what we're talking about when it comes to producing high quality content. Love you guys. Go enjoy your weekend. Find your kids, give them a kiss on the forehead. Go plant a big wet one on your wife. Enjoy your weekend watching the Olympics. Track and field and all that stuff is starting. On an aside, Kevin, I watched the first hurdle event from the track and field center at the Olympics last night. And the world record holder is a guy from Finland. I think it's Finland. It's one of those Scandinavians. Finland. And he was running in the first heat. Now, the guy in the lane beside him was Ireland. Yeah. And my wife goes, is that guy from Ireland or Italy? Because the Italian flag and the the Irish flag are almost identical, except for the red stripe in the Italian flag is orange in the Irish flag. And she said, that looks the same as the Italian flag. I said, no, it's orange, not red, blah, blah, blah. And she said, that guy's hair is silver like yours. So they go to talk and they said, hey, his 28th birthday was just the other day after the Olympics started. And he's 28 years old. And he had more gray hair than me. And my wife said, he's only 28 and has silver hair like he's an old man. And she said, you didn't have gray hair like that when you were 28. I said, no, I wasn't married yet.
and now you're sleeping alone tonight, aren't you? Again.
But he came in second. The Irish guy came in second behind the world record holder.
Yes, dear. You're right. I'm sorry. That's all you need to know. Oh, and they're all 21. All women are 21. Yes, dear. You're right. I'm sorry. That's all you need.
No, Kevin, you've got that wrong. What do you mean there are other women?
Explained. No, all women are 21.
If I'm complimentary to other women, my wife thinks I'm flirting with them.
Well, that's fine, but that's your.
So
problem.
I don't even know that there are no other women other than my wife.
Then immediately you say, "Yes, dear, you're right. I'm sorry." That's all you need to know.
So I'm just saying, kids. But yeah, no, don't ever even acknowledge another woman's existence in front of you. That's the best practice, Kevin. But anyway, love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Do everything you want to do. Have fun. Find something that you love and do it. Because on Monday, the mission starts, the war starts. Everything is here that we have to fight. And over the next couple weeks, it's going to get ugly. It's going to look bad, and it's going to be scary. So, love you. Buy T-shirts. Vape brand bracelets on sale soon. Bye.
Countries all over the world have continued their tobacco control efforts. I take this opportunity to congratulate them and to thank them for their dedication.
Don't tase me, bro!
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room. It's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just, I don't know, is killing people right now.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
It's not about really quitting smoking. Their ideological viewpoint against vaping is so strong and so weird. Like, honestly, it's just weird. I don't know why it invokes this incredible sort of anger from these people. I mean, this colleague of mine said to me when I first moved to get the inquiry up, her comment to me was, why don't they just use a patch? And I said to her, do you smoke? And she's like, no. I said, have you ever smoked? And she said, no. And I said, well, shut up then. You don't know how hard it is to quit smoking.
Clearly, when you tell teenagers not to do something, there's a good chance they will do it.